I do not know if I'm going to continue this trend or if I'm going to adjust it later, but at this particular point in time, since Kenneth has joined, it has been forced. This is the fourth session since he had joined, which means we've had one person since Kenneth has joined that has not said the last time part, and that would be Brian. Hello, Brian. You can do the last time this time.
Okay. So, last time on Shadows of Gradiriel. Okay. Yeah, last time, we, some shit happened.
You don't remember, do you?
I remember the important shit, mostly that we left Yukiege after accepting a job that was taking us down south. Wound up fighting some displacer beasts or something to that effect, killed the shit out of them, and then our local elephant got his hammer stolen, so we had to go and get that shit back, which resulted in a fun little duo with a lizard person with a fucking long neck, and now Silver's pissed because that person was claiming shit about Helm, which was not true. And was it last session or the session before where I went on my dreamscape intimidation adventures?
It was the beginning of last session.
Okay, and at the beginning of last session, Locke pulled a ghosty and intimidated a bunch of assholes on the other side of the map into trying to go along with getting his father out at the arranged time instead of doubling his sentence like a bunch of slimy little cunts.
Also, last session.
More to Silver's
also
rage at the moment.
Also, last session, you learned about Balov, your crossbow.
And oh, yeah, that's right. I had a talking crossbow I was linked to for a bit. I stepped on that really fast. Yeah, I totally forgot about that asshole for a minute. Partly because I cut my link with him pretty much as soon as I formed it.
Yeah.
You also acquired a new vehicle.
Oh yeah, you.
I thought the cart was destroyed.
The cart was destroyed, but in the battle with the battle with the lizard,
you're hanging out on Cat's shoulders because he's such a tiny, low weight twig. We have a giant fucking elephant now.
Just be careful when he rages, and you're probably going to need a harness.
I think we already established that he raged out, and all of a sudden Locke's legs were jelly. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! Like they went fucking numb.
You held on pretty well.
Yeah, you did.
You didn't.
So, are we at this point on the map, or are we a little bit more closer to the mountains?
You're a little bit closer to the mountains, not by much, but a little bit.
Okay.
The trick to get to or at least at the end of last session, you dealt with the lizard person, then you found a set of tracks that were blinking in and out of existence for a bit, and then you started to follow those at the end of last session, and the intent was to figure out where those lead.
I don't think we actually started following?
Well, no, you didn't actually start.
No, we just got the piece of paper saying that cat is wanted, and that apparently Silver was the only one that could read it.
Yes, because
also,
dragon.
I thought we following the blinking footprints were what led us to the lizard person.
We were following drag marks, and then Silver's.
Yeah, you initially were following drag marks, and Silver had done locate object on the hammer. But then after the battle with the lizard guy, having realized that the lizard person was strong enough to carry the hammer and was not the person that had initially stole it, you went looking after the fight with the lizard guy to figure out if somebody else was around. And that's when you found the blinking footprints.
Oh, okay.
But as Sam said, I don't think you had initially decided that you were going to follow them at the end of last session, but she also had her, holy crap, this guy is not the follower of Helm as he should be, and she roasted his head in a campfire. That was pleasant.
Yes.
Sure Cheer loved that.
Helm.
Whoever.
Okay.
I'm sure Helmet. I'm sure Helmet.
Whatever to your god.
I don't have one.
Yeah, you do.
I don't think Vindsvept counts.
So is a lizard folk's brain the size of a chestnut? Is then something chestnuts roasting on an open fire?
Okay, one, that's funny, but two, I'm pretty sure this wasn't a lizard folk.
It was some Ravnica.
It was one of the Ravnica races, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vyashino.
And aren't they a lizardy sort of person?
They are a
Yeah, but they're
lizardy
not
person,
lizard
and
folk.
I was referring to them as lizard type or lizard folk, but lizard folk is also a standard fifth edition, standard D&D race as well. So they are not necessarily lizard folk. They are Vyashino, but yeah. Anyway, so
Okay.
we open up after everyone has rested dealing with that insanity. Although it was relatively early morning when you had initially found them, so it would be up to you if you wanted to actually rest. I would assume you want to because spells. But
Short rest, if nothing else.
Yeah.
but yes.
Like Silver's having this piece of paper in her hand.
Mhm. Yep. She had found a basically a letter of a warrant out, or like a wanted thing for
Wanted poster.
basically,
so,
yeah.
Question
Mm-hmm.
for Locke and GM. Was Silver present for when Locke told the warden where to go?
Yes.
Okay.
When Silver was in the room when Locke had mentioned to the warden of where Locke's intent, of course, was to tell the warden where he was so that the warden would tell Frederick when he was released.
Right.
But obviously the warden had pushed that a different direction.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so, right. If any of the guards described what Locke looked like to the warden can just go and simply point in the direction, since we broke Cad out and this is a wanted listing for Cad.
Did.
And she's like looking at Locke.
Sorry?
Okay.
I do not like being wanted in this way.
No, no one does. Trust me, I know the feeling.
So do I.
Okay, so we have a bit of a problem here. We either finish this mission, go back to Yukiege, turn it in, and then maybe get surprised by some people. Or we head back to the capital, find a way in, and deal with the warden.
Well, I mean, if the warden's already passed my description around, then what good would dealing with him at this juncture even do? It wouldn't suddenly make my description go away.
No, but he can stop people from wanting you. And it's gonna be hard with big guy here trying to get into the town, so
I personally vote for the former option. If we keep in Yukiege, it's probably safer for us there because that's a big distance for any would-be bounty hunters to travel, and more than that, well, my mother's a badass wizard. If we get attacked, she can help us.
I would not exactly fit in, though.
I mean, to be honest, neither do I.
Small town with the only lockdown in town?
If we are going, and this is Yang speaking, who's with you,
Right.
if we are going to go to Yukiege, do we want to follow up on the one who had initially stole Cad's hammer? Because I would assume he was a part of the. She looks over to the corpse of the Vyashino and she's just like, yeah, him. I mean, if he had the warrant for his arrest, but it was someone else who went to get the hammer, which I guess he could have pretended to drag it to hide who he was, maybe, but I don't know. The other tracks are bother me. What do we want to do about those?
That was probably just someone scouting ahead,
Yes,
scouting around, and probably just brought proof to the guy that it was Cad, or trying to make it easier to capture Cad without his weapon.
Maybe it would be a good idea for, since we are going to be finishing up a quest for the blacksmith, maybe it would be a good idea for Cad to get a different weapon.
Possibly.
If this is, the weapon that he was trained with as part of the guard, then it might be a good idea for him to swap it out. I mean, he's a barbarian. He can pretty much use anything, right? Yeah.
I guess so.
I suppose. Out of character, refresh my memory the specific things we were supposed to do after figuring out what happened to the supplies were with our current contract, our current mission. Like, were we just supposed to head straight back after finding out, and we were simply going down to the town they came from for information, or what were we doing?
We were trying to figure out why the shipment didn't get through, right?
Yes.
Basically was attacked by the
Yeah, it was attacked by the
Displacer beast.
displacer beast.
So now we know why the shipment didn't get through.
So we
Right,
don't need to go all the way to Fumok, or
No,
however the hell you pronounce
not necessarily.
Right.
Hmm.
All right. So
it might be a good idea to hit Fumok anyway, if only to alert, the local organization there that, or whoever's in charge on that side of things, that the wagon they sent out was attacked and destroyed by displacer beasts. Just notify them so that they can avoid such hiccups in the future. We're already halfway there, so we'll be saving both parties a bit of time.
Yes, but that's a couple of days' journey, and we don't know what's going to happen in Yukiege since you told them about Yukiege.
I did, but they're currently, I point at Cad, after him.
Yes, but you also have to remember, if they get note that you were helped break out, the first place they might check is Yukiege.
What about your mother?
I trust my mother can take care of herself. Again, she's a very powerful wizard. Not the strongest in the world, but she's no slouch. She can handle
Can you do your mind talking thing and tell her?
Not from here. It's a limited range, 30 feet.
Right.
And more than that, I do actually have a personal reason for wanting to visit Fumok. Minor thing. There's someone there I know who I kind of ditched ways back. I want to apologize to them.
Hey, Cad.
Do
me a favor. Roll me a perception check, of course with advantage because smell.
First roll.
19. Nice.
That's a good number.
Good
start.
All right. So the area I do want to establish the area that you guys are in is sort of, it's mostly flatland, though it becomes a little bit more hilly as you get closer to the mountains. But
I mean, that makes sense. Foothills, the terrain gets more rugged as you get closer to fault lines and such.
And as it were, for the most part, between Yukiege and Fumok, it is flatland up until you get closer to the mountains for the foothills. Currently, you guys are sort of at that junction between flatland and foothills. But it's mostly flatland from where you guys are back to Yukiege, and there's also a not necessarily strong but present breeze that seems to be flowing south, making it nice and temperate for those of you who would be more accustomed to such a thing. Not that any of you really care about that. You're not like a lizard person, but Cad, with your 19%.
Is the wind coming from the north or from the south?
Wind is
blowing south from the north.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's coming from the north. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming down from the north. And Cad, with your lovely 19 perception, You smell it first, and then you sort of look after getting a sense for it. You smell smoke, and it's a large quantity of smoke that's heading south from where you guys are, or heading towards you from the north.
Mm,
Oh, don't
Can
do
I-
this all red.
I'm assuming like wood smoke.
Yes.
Mm,
Oh, okay, maybe. Never mind. Okay.
You okay there, Sam?
Yeah, no, I just remembered something else. It's like I thought you set the town on fire, then I was like, oh wait, no, there's something else about fire.
And we're far enough away from Yukiege that I don't think we'd smell the smoke from this distance.
Yes, if there's a strong enough wind and it was a large enough fire, yes, you would. I looked it up.
Oh. Hmm.
Because
Magic
keeping
with
in mind
marionettes.
that my map is based on days, not necessarily distance, and the average person can travel mostly uh, roughly about 35 miles in a day, assuming that you're not traveling for 24 hours, which you guys don't. Usually you take up and set camp and blah, blah, blah. But,
About 8 to 12 hours of travel a day.
yeah, 8 to 12 hours of travel is easily about 35 miles. So you're actually...
Looking at between 60 and 80 miles a distance between us and
Yep.
Yukiege.
And you can actually, if it's a large enough fire and smoke, and it's flat land, and the smoke is traveling south, or traveling in the right direction, you can get a sense
Right.
for it.
if I was to turn now that I sort of perceive a direction and an origin, am I able to like see any smoke or anything in the sky
Yes.
if I'm facing north?
Yes. There is a rather sizable, and it's present due for you looking into the sky. Granted, it's a little bit harder to see because it's like middle of the day, but there is a discernible
Wow.
blaze that's going on up towards the north, up towards Yukiege.
Okay. Hey guys, look north. There's a big fire. Do you smell it?
I don't smell it, but now that he's pointing it out, can I see it?
Fire.
Yeah, definitely.
I can't smell it, but I can see that.
Young sort of like, well, um, that 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 is a big. Wait, wasn't there a quest mission on the board that said something about?
There was.
Oh, hell.
Right. Well, at least we have a small comfort in knowing that maybe it's not Yukiege that's burning. Plus, that looks like wood smoke.
The houses in Yukiege are made out of wood.
Largely, yes.
True.
Okay. Okay.
we wanna-
So now, more important problem. What do we do?
Which way did the blink tracks go? South.
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 Mm.
It doesn't. That being, as
Uh,
none
ca-
of our
uh,
worried.
Can I tell how close that fire is, like, to Yukiege from here? Like, can I make an educated guess and determine is that Yukiege or just the forests that are off the map?
Roll perception.
Oh, skill I'm not great at. 9.
Yeah, not really. You can't really discern one way or the other.
Uh,
Well, I would say we go to the more pressing matter, which is north. I mean,
Right.
I don't know about the
Agreed.
other person down there, but whatever.
yeah, if there was some other scout who did the initial lugging of Cad's hammer, then us letting them go might make us seem like not as big of a bunch of dicks, whereas if we chase after them and wind up killing them, that just increases the bounty, and we don't want that. Bigger bounties mean more excessive force. Let them go, let's go deal with this thing first.
Alright, so.
All right.
Back to you, Yukiege, with us then.
Charge!
And quickly, because, yeah, fire.
Yep, going at a...
We'll
Oh,
get there
yeah.
in 2 days. It's fine.
No, running. Running.
Right. That was my next
I
question.
mean,
Do we want
I
to...
I will happily take that point of exhaustion to run to Yukiege.
does Locke have Cad's permission to ride on his shoulders for this? Because don't forget, I'm a twig. I don't have stamina. I will collapse and die long before we get there if we sprint the whole way.
I know, you were doing that when we were just getting to the end of the trail.
I mean, that was a 30-minute run.
Yes,
I in real life
I
get
run
winded
really
after
fast.
5.
I run really fast. You're good, buddy.
Okay, good. And I top up and assume position on Cad's back. I have used my whistle. I am now on my mount.
That's a little bit demeaning, friend.
It's a joke.
I know.
That's a rather amusing image, actually. I love that. You'll have to draw something like that later, Brian.
Ah, shit. Remind me at another time because I'm going to forget that in 5 minutes.
So Silver is like grabbing hold of her like sword and shield, and then just books it. Just
Yep. Young is right
as
there
fast
with you.
as she can in heavy in armor.
Yep.
Yep.
And since I'm not doing any active running, Locke will
Ching, ching,
do his
ching,
best to
ching,
keep an
ching.
active lookout around everyone.
Locke, give me a perception roll or two.
Okay, I'll give you 2 then. 16
All right.
and 12.
Okay.
I don't know what either of those are for.
Well, it's because you're keeping lookout as y'all are running. That's what you said you were doing.
And we're
Um,
making noise. Ching 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 ching.
Yes.
Not
And you're
being
making
stealthy
noise.
at all.
So, we covered that distance fairly quickly. Let me move your
As
Point
we're
of
getting
exa-
closer,
point
as
of
we're getting closer, are we able to tell where the fire is coming from?
yes.
Okay.
Point of exhaustion for those of you who are running, which is everyone but Locke.
Yay.
Yay, dodged a bullet.
Is there a place
Advantage.
to signify that, or we just remember?
It's a disadvantage on abilities.
It basically the first point of exhaustion is disadvantage on pretty much anything you do.
Gotcha.
Disadvantage on ability checks for level 1, level 2, speed halved. Level 3 is disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. Level
Okay,
4
so
is your
we're
hit
still
point
good
maximum.
on attacks and saving
Right.
throws.
Yep, you're still good on attacks and
It's
saving throws.
basically just saves and skills, right?
Pretty much.
No,
It's
it's just skills.
Any ability check.
It's just
So,
skills then.
That also, so skills or
saving
raw
throws is
strength
at
or
third.
whatever.
Okay.
Since it says ability checks and not saves, that means if I say a strength check, it would be at a disadvantage, but strength save would not.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Alrighty. So, running full tilt, you're able to discern rather quickly that, yes, the fire seems to be the bigger part of being mostly to the... It would be more to the east than Yukiege itself. As you're getting closer, you're able to discern, Locke more so since he's keeping a lookout, that the fire seems to be coming from the forest to the east of Yukiege. But it is a rather large blaze, and with the way that this area's trees are structured, if given enough time, there is a chance that, as per shield buff's worry, it could spread to Yukiege, but it's not gotten there yet. It's just a very large blaze that's covering the far side of the forest eastern of Yukiege. It's off the map, but it's not actually that far, considering that Yukiege is at the edge of the map.
All right, I just got Sephiroth's theme going for when he was burning Nibelheim. There we go. All right, mood set.
Uh-huh.
Sorry.
You're alright. Yeah.
Silver was going to the actual village part, not
Oh,
towards the fire.
Oh, you're gonna go to the village first?
Well, that's where Silver's going. I don't know about the rest.
Young is going to see that you're trying to head more towards Yukiege rather than to the forest. So she's going to sort of look to Cad to see where he's going.
I glance up over my shoulder. Which way, buddy?
Let's try and keep the group together. Stick with Silver. Go to Yukiege.
There you go.
Alrighty. First for me. Okay. So Silver is making her way to Yukiege then.
Right.
Pretty much everyone is, it seems.
Yep.
In her head, she's like, okay, need to be a guardian now. Go to the town. Get picked up.
Alright.
And, for Locke, it's like, check on Mom, then put out the fire.
Alright.
Okay.
So you're going to Yukiege then. Yukiege it is. There we go.
Right. So as we get in, what's the town state?
Situation.
Yeah. So, biggest part of town is, like, Yukiege is in a panic. At least, it's easier for you to discern that this is by far not the biggest town that Silver's ever been in, because she's been used to places like Caverton and all that. But, yeah, people are trying to do their best to basically do any kind of protecting that they can to their buildings and whatnot, but they're sort of like making a trench of water or something to stop the spread of the fire. There's not a whole lot.
Oh, that's not gonna. Trench of water won't stop fire.
Well, yes, but I am not proficient in the knowledge to know what will be the right thing to do. They are doing it. Whatever.
I
it is.
do.
You get in front of the fire and you take out a row of trees and houses, so they're just like demolishing like the eastern side of the town, right?
Yeah, you gotta make sure that there's like really good distance so the fire doesn't jump onto the buildings from like sparks and stuff.
Deprive
And
the
then-
fire of fuel, essentially.
Yes, and another way is also taking water and wetting everything.
Okay, then that. Yes, that's reasonable for them to be doing.
So all the
fire
water
doesn't fall
figures go
along
to the
the
inside of
This- Silver was gonna run in and be like, okay, everyone start doing this, this, and this, and this, and this.
Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, she's going to go find Shield Buff.
Yes. Shield Buff is currently closer to the east side of town, and he seems to be looking into the area where the blaze is happening, and do you have I think she does, because she's got sorcerer in her. Do you actually
What?
have Arcana?
I do not.
I
No, you
do,
don't.
and I'm
Yeah,
not
you do.
exhausted.
This
Yeah.
is true.
I'm gonna
So,
keep
let-
flaunting that shit.
That's fine.
Yes. Alright, so, yeah. Assuming everybody follows Silver towards Shield Buff,
I mean, I'm going where Cad goes. Like, he's the one moving. I'm just tagging
Yeah.
along.
alright. So, yeah. Roll me an Arcana check, Locke.
All right. That's an 18.
Oh, nice. It seems to be that Shield Buff is preparing to sort of cast a large, because he seems to be using magic, and he has got a large scale in the prep for a large scale wind wall to work with him and with other sorcerers and wizards type to sort of try to stop the blaze at least as best he can with the use of a wind wall.
Is he putting their hand to the wind and telling it, "Be gone, thought"?
Something like that, yes. Also, make me a perception check.
Me or everyone?
You.
Okay. 12.
Yep. It is big chunk of wizard and sorcerer types, and in and amongst them is in fact your mother.
Yay! Mom's being useful.
Yay.
All right.
All right. So you come to Shield Buff. What are you doing to talk to? Are you wanting to speak to him, or what you doing, Silver?
Yes.
All right. He's focused on what he's doing, so he's not going to say anything initially to you.
Yeah, she's a little out of breath and be like, show buff.
Yes.
What is all your plans going on?
We are protecting the areas with wind and dampening the areas that the wind can't be spread to try to abate the fire.
Okay. Is there any farms to the east?
No.
Town?
Not between here and the forest. There are some further south, but everyone from those farms has been evacuated to here already.
Okay.
There was in fact somebody
And-
in a farm to the east that informed me that no one had done anything about the rumors of the blaze and all of a sudden fire. Anyway,
I feel personally attacked by the dungeon master right now.
no. I mean, it was in this town that, you guys stopped for doing one quest and then somebody else did it. So there's more than you guys as adventurers here. So,
Right. So, okay. From what Silver can see, is like the tree line going up against the town?
the forest is not that close, but there are sparse trees that could potentially
Serve as a
it-
bridge.
be a
Right.
bridge to get here, if it was to spread that far.
Alright, she's gonna look at Shield Buff and be like, who here is like a really strong woodcutter? Or
We-
multiple people, or like fast woodcutters.
We have a few of those.
Okay, where can I find them?
Some of them would be probably helping the others to dampen the houses further south.
Okay. Alright. Kaz, how are you with an axe?
You mean a battle axe, yes?
You're a big guy, two-handed axe. You wanna go chop some trees?
I guess a battle axe could technically smash a tree.
I mean, any kind of axe could really smash a tree. So,
Yeah, it's just we gotta put an axe in your hand. The hammer won't really do much except for just trying to cut trees down here.
I guess technically I have a warhammer. Yeah, if
Just for the time being.
yeah, if I had access to an axe, I'm pretty sure I could figure out how to smack a tree.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. The blacksmith isn't all that far, so could probably borrow one from him, or just outright buy it and then go and chop shit down. I'm thinking I might work best if I stay here and maybe help with the magic stuff. I'm not strong. I can't help cut down trees.
That
That's
would probably
fine.
be best.
And also, can you study the flames to see? Is there any way to tell whether? You probably can't really tell if the flames started from like an Arcana point.
Once they've,
I mean-
this is Shilbo speaking up, and once the blaze has spread this far,
It's
there's
hard to
no real
tell.
way to
Okay.
tell. Though there's no real way to tell what the initial spark was.
Probably that arsonist, though.
Probably.
Right. Okay. Young, can you go gather the wood axer people?
Can do.
Okay, run off.
Off she goes.
And Locke's hopping down from CAD to move over to the mage people and help out however he can. I don't know wind walls, so I don't really know what I can do there, but I'm gonna try.
What sort of spells do you have anyway, Locke?
I have, as far as my cantrips go, I have Minor Illusion, Eldritch Blast, Thaumaturgy, Firebolt, Message, and Mage Hand. I have Dissonant Whispers, Charm Person, Detect Magic, which I can use freely without any spell slots. Let's see here. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Unseen Servant. I also have Invisibility, Shatter, Slow, and Counterspell.
Yes. You could probably help to those that were moving water back and forth and like dampening the houses and things. You could probably use yourself and an unseen servant to help with that in theory.
I'll do that.
Okay, I was gonna grab Cad, and we're both gonna head to the blacksmith to go pick up
Yep.
some axes.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So we get to the blacksmith. Anyone here?
He is not here, but actually there is a little like hastily drawn signpost in common that says, "Those who are wanting to help with the effort against the fire can take whatever they need."
Okay, so I guess we go find some axes.
Which he does have some axes in there. But this dwarf,
Two-handed, scary, powerful things.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to try to beat some trees into submission. So,
Alrighty then.
so I guess, how long does it take Young to get the?
It actually.
How many people does she find?
Let's do some quick
Look
rolls for Young. And the disadvantage was on skills and ability checks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So she would have disadvantage on things.
Yep. Okay.
Have to pay respects.
So it takes her a bit, but by the time you have some axes collected, and are heading to the tree line, you see her coming up with a few other folks. We'll say she has maybe 4 other bigger types that would be able to take down a tree or two. One of them actually happens to be the dwarf that runs a blacksmith shop.
Oh, hey, borrowing these.
Yeah, that's fine. She told me that your plan was to take down some trees.
Yes, we're gonna kind of make a clearing between the forest.
So that it doesn't. I mean, that makes sense. Shield Buff was pretty focused on trying to abate it with the wind wall and wasn't really thinking of getting anybody to chop down trees. And yeah, let's do that.
And off with the little jog off to the east side to go chop trees.
Alrighty then.
She's probably gonna team up with Cad and attack the same tree as he does.
Sounds
Hey,
like
you're
a plan.
gonna need to rage. This person's trying to burn everything down. Hurt people.
So, would a rage continue as long as I'm attacking a tree? Or does she have to stand there and punch me in the arm and say, "You can do it, because I'm still technically being hit?
Hold on. See here.
She climbs on my shoulders and beats me on the head gently. And I just like
But
mow
I
down all the
I need
trees.
to help chop down the tree. Just want to try to chop these trees down faster.
Okay.
Also,
Sit here and make-
how does exhaustion stack with rage?
It shouldn't,
It-
because it's gonna be an attack.
It wouldn't. However, if you do rage, you would get normal rolls with your uh, strength. Well, you're going to be rolling attacks anyway to attack a tree. So,
Yeah.
if you rage, you would get advantage on the attack rolls using reckless. If you use reckless attack, you could get advantage on the attack rolls. However, rage says that in order for you to keep it going, you either have to take damage or be attacked or attack a hostile creature. And it also only lasts a minute, which it's reasonable to say you might be able to take down a tree or two in maybe a minute and a half or something like that if you were really lucky. So, but however, the big benefit to Cad being in this equation is Cad could roll his attacks against the tree as reckless, which would ignore the exhaustion thing because it doesn't affect attacks.
True.
Yeah, but a normal attack doesn't get affected by exhaustion either.
Right. I'm just saying he would be able to attack the tree at advantage.
Okay. It's just stationary.
I mean, yeah, but
Still
It'd
has
be
armor
like
class.
DC 10 to hit.
more or less. All right.
Alright, so plan is chop down some trees, make sure everything's okay, and then gather the group back up and venture out to see about this fire? Yes?
Seems reasonable to me. Oh wait, no one's there for me to say that part. Never mind.
No, I'm just saying to add a character to the whole group, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I would probably say that we do a scene with you guys chopping the trees, see how well that goes, switch over to Locke and his whole debacle with the water, and then, we'll go from there. Alright, so, with that in mind, roll me, we'll say, 3 attacks, I guess, 3 attacks each. We'll go ribbon first, or silver first.
Silver.
Yes, silver first.
Still making that mistake.
And you can roll 3 attacks, and assuming you make over a 10, which you probably will, then you can roll damage as well.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out. Since she would have grabbed a great axe, which is a two-handed, I'm just trying to figure out what her proficiency would be with it.
Yeah,
Was
what
it
are the
proficiency
stats
plus
of a
strength?
great axe?
It would be
A
perfect.
axe is a 1d12 slashing damage,
And,
and it's two-handed.
Yep, and it's a martial melee weapon, so if you have proficiency with martial weapons, you've got it.
Okay, so it's just strength plus proficiency.
It's strength plus proficiency for your attacks.
And she got one of those for both of us, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so how many rolls?
3.
3 attacks, roll damage for any that are above 10.
What? A 9.
Okay. So,
17, and then above 20.
so give me 2 damage rolls.
And that's plus strength for damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
7
Okay.
and 5.
Alright. So you got your adrenaline pumping. You're going in to try to chop down this tree, and you're doing fairly well. You
Remember, she's chopping down the same tree as Cat is.
right. You're doing fairly well. However, it's clear that you don't necessarily have the you're basically trying to cut the tree in more of a like bashing it in. You're still slashing because you're still using an axe, but yeah, it's been a while since you've chopped down a tree or two.
Is she
If
ever?
at all, if
With a
ever.
battle axe.
Yeah.
With an elephant.
All right, roll 3 attacks.
My question is, my Warhammer has a different damage die if I wield it two-handed.
I don't think a battle axe does.
It's
Does your
just a
battle
D12.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said 3 attacks?
Yep.
I'm going to do reckless, so that's at advantage. Yep.
Yep.
I
Holy
think
crap.
I hit it.
Yeah.
Wait a second, is it a Warhammer?
No, he's
Battle
using a
axe.
battle axe.
Oh, no, I meant the other question that I was asking about the hammer.
Yeah, the one that I was just asking about. Yeah,
It's a
it
Warhammer?
says D8 for one hand and D10 for two hand.
Yeah, it's versatile. So it is
Yep.
a different damage.
But a battle axe does not have versatile.
No.
Okay.
Great axe.
So
Great
number
axe
two,
does. Battle axe doesn't.
No,
I-
battle axe does have versatile. It's the great axe that does not have versatile.
I can verify. I'm looking at the weapon table right now.
Yeah. So.
The great
Okay.
axe is two-handed only.
all three of those are over 10. So damage, damage, damage.
Oh yeah. Bye bye tree.
That's one tree down. To the next.
So you smack into it, and there's a moment when Riven or Silver is smacking at the tree, and she just doesn't hit it in the right way, and at that moment you're also sort of just like crunch into the tree, super hard, very clever, very aggressively because reckless. And, yeah, bye bye tree. Next.
It just plummets.
Yeah, so we're going around basically trying to create a gap.
The
other
final 8
Ashman-
damage is after the trunk severs, or after the tree severs from the trunk. I like poke it with the axe.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
And basically the other people saw what we were doing and just jumped in.
Oh yeah,
and backed away
definitely.
slowly.
And then just be
Um,
like, okay, we're not moving that fast, but we'll still help.
Yeah, pretty much. And the blacksmith is clearly impressed by the elephant person. Which I mean makes sense. The elephant is strong, so yeah. You make short work of you teamed with the others that Yong had brought. Which Yong is not going to be impressive enough to help with the trees. So Yong just went, after she brought the others to you, she went off to help with the watering down of the areas with Locke, because she doesn't have the strength to kick down a tree. She's a monk, not a fighter. I mean, she could totally pull like a Naruto kick to the same tree, and it would take forever, but she could get somewhere
if it
maybe.
was like, I don't know, like, in like legs thickness, maybe she could kick it down, but
Yeah,
we'll go
exactly.
tree.
So she just went off back to where Locke was, in helping with the others. And Locke, for your part, jumping to you, you see that everyone who is able-bodied enough to try to douse the area, some even are like the younger kids crowds are helping. You actually see, because Locke had went with Riven before when she went and spoke to Julia in the market at one point, right?
I believe I was there. I kind of listened in. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some kids that are somewhat recognizable that are helping with all the water, and yeah.
Yep. And I've summoned an unseen servant.
Yep. Which
That's just a floating bucket.
Henceforth
Yeah.
dubbed Bob until such time as I can come up with a better name.
Yep, there is a floating bucket which some of the kids are somewhat fascinated by, and then the adults that are with them just sort of bop them on the back of the head, like, get back to work, go, 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 go.
Ignore the floating bucket. Make your own float.
And yeah, it's I mean, there's nothing that you necessarily have to roll to do this on your part, that I can think of. But yeah, and then after a moment, Youngs comes in and she's doing the same thing, and she's pulling buckets as best she can to try to stop the blaze. She also makes an effort to look out towards the fire itself to see if she can discern if there's anybody among the blaze, because the forest is actually relatively close, and given enough distance you can probably look out that way, but she's a little tired, so she does not see a dabbling thing.
There's a fire.
Yeah.
It's like, it's hot.
Yeah, pretty much. Fire hurts. Heat hurts. So, you are sort of working with her, and yeah, you guys make short work of some great
Letting
fire
everything down.
some great fire prevention. We have some watered down buildings that would hopefully abate the blaze, a wind wall, and the potential chain for the fire to spread to town from the forest itself has been severed to the best of your ability. The blaze is still there; it's roaring fiercely.
I wanna try something.
Okay, what you got?
How close is the fire itself to like the town itself? Like, give me a range in feet here.
Probably about 50 feet.
How far?
50 feet.
50 feet. I'm gonna draw until I'm about 30 feet away from it. And then I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy and see how much I can weaken them with the flicker effect that I have on there. Because one of the things I can do with Thaumaturgy is I can cause flames to flicker, brighten, dim, or change color for 1 minute. And it doesn't tell me how big of a radius that is. So I'm assuming it would probably be within my cast radius. But I just want to see like how much I can cause them to flicker and dim, hopefully to like slow their spread.
That's interesting.
Because if they're not as intense, they're not going to spread as far. So, like, I'm trying to, like, manually smother them.
Right. Give me a Arcana roll.
All right.
I'll give you that. That's interesting.
11.
You're able to subdue it a little bit, but not at any means that would really stop the fire entirely, or even stop the spreads a whole lot on that side. You basically did the equivalent of you've abated the fire a bit in one small little area, as if you've took this sort of 30 feet radius bit of sand that's about maybe 5 feet in, that just it's impressive for one who doesn't necessarily understand magic, as the kids are behind you, but the blaze is going to come right back to it because there's more fuel. And Thaumaturgy is meant to snuff out candles, not wildfire.
Right.
However,
I assume all the other spellcasters have to maintain concentration to maintain the wind wall, so we couldn't like have like a mass Thaumaturgy to put it out.
no, but even so, Thaumaturgy would not necessarily be a means to get rid of it, though there are water spells that could potentially be used.
I do not know.
Well, by other
I-
spellcasters.
Right. I should have taken Ray of Frost. That could have been useful here.
But yeah, Young sort of looks out, and she's, I can't make heads or tails with all the smoke and whatever else to see if. I mean, the forest doesn't connect right up against the village itself, so whoever set that blaze is either long gone or is, I don't know, sitting in there enjoying it or something. I don't know. I'm with Riven.
Questions for later. For now, let's just make sure that fire doesn't spread to the city itself. All right?
Yeah. She's back to the water.
My My
Alrighty.
experiment did not yield favorable results, so I'm going to head back to helping in other ways.
Yep. All right. So after a bit, Cad and Silver cut down more trees, and you've pretty much broken the line of where the trees would lead up. The only issue is you still have the lumber there. So you would have to now do some strength shenanigans to pull all the lumber away closer to town so that you're not striking lumber that's fallen over rather than trees that are still alive. Because yeah, the effort is to remove the trees, not just cut them down. I would imagine.
I mean, now that they're fallen, they'll still cover a lot less surface area, or be a lot less able to be caught on fire, and even if they are, they'll be a lot less likely to spread the flames. Could probably just water them down, and that would actually save a lot of trouble itself.
Right. And hey, people get wood logs for the winter.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, I don't know what the current season is, but
It's gonna get the
it's getting close to winter. It's getting close to winter.
because we just had the harvest end.
right. Okay, then I'm gonna go ahead and assume, like, if people have any trouble pulling or bringing the logs closer to towns out there farther away from the blaze, if people fail to do that, I'll redirect Bob to take his water buckets to wet them down to make them less likely to catch a blaze from the spreading inferno.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Just create a buffer zone.
Alright. Alright. So, you have done some wonderful abating of potential wildfire. There's moments that, I mean, I'm not even going to make you roll perception. There's moments of where the blaze has caught to the edge of where you guys have made that break in the tree line and the water line, and the tactics have seemed to work. The fire is not going to spread to town.
Whew, thank fuck for that.
Very well done. Good job.
Alright. All that remains now is to wait for it to burn itself out, which could be a while.
Right, which we probably won't have time for.
Right.
So I guess after tree chopping, Silver's gonna go and like sit down somewhere and try to catch her breath.
Along with Young and possibly Cad as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, Locke's gonna try and link up with the others as well.
Alright.
You all alive?
Yeah.
Now then, do we want to go in there and try to find where it started?
I mean, I say we wait for it to die down a bit. I don't want to walk into into a wall of fire. Wait for it to simmer down a bit, then we can head in. It'd be safer. And it'd also give all of you a chance to rest. You're all pretty haggard.
Yeah, but at the same time, if we give too much time for this is Young, of course. If we give too much time for the blaze to settle down, as it were, if there is an arsonist in there, he's probably going to be long gone.
Alright.
I don't want to go into that blaze either, but that's all if we want to balance, giving this arsonist, if there is one in there, some degree of justice, or if we want to rest and not run into an inferno.
Okay, let's rest a little bit, see which way the flames are going, and then head in the opposite directions to loop around it. 'Cause maybe if we go around it, we will find where it's like already died down where it started, and we won't have to deal with the flames.
Yeah, that makes sense. The further out it spreads, it'll start dying down in the middle because it'll have burned there for longer and used up all of its fuel.
Right.
Seems solid.
So,
And by that logic, we could, in theory, just cut through the middle, and if we move quickly enough to not get burned to a crisp, we'd eventually hit safer space anyway. Let's take an hour and catch our breath at any rate.
I'd be down with that.
Yes.
So we rest and then make our way around and sort of come from the other side to see if we can. If the arsonist tries to bail, we might be able to stop their path.
Hopefully. Although there's a good chance they'll have already booked it. Fire spreads fast, but a person on feet spreads faster, I think. Or moves faster than a spreading flame. Most times.
And we don't really know what they did after they set the blaze, though. Or why, even.
Who gives a shit about the why? They damn near set fire to Yukiege. My mom lives here.
Yes, that's true. All right. So let's get some rest for a bit, and then we'll make our way there.
Yep, take 60.
Yeah. Silver's gonna go find the blacksmith first.
Returning the axes.
Returning the axes and his order.
Yeah, makes sense.
So.
And Locke is going to spend his short rest locating his mom and touching base with her and seeing what all's up. We could probably skim over my stuff and just focus on those two.
Yeah. Where's Cad going? Is he sticking to Locke or Silver?
Well, she returned the weapon, so I guess that I would as well.
Yeah. It's just whether or not you want to stick around for her to return the gear that she picked up from the mission earlier.
Yeah, I'd probably stick with her. Because Locke's with his mom, right?
Yeah, that's mostly just going to be generic. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? Yes, I'm all right. Blah, blah, blah. That kind of generic
Let's
thing.
go have a nap.
Yeah.
Family nap time.
And I'm just taking a short rest is what I'm doing to get my expended spell slot back.
Well,
yeah.
Wake me in an hour, Mum.
It doesn't even have to be sleep. We're just sitting still talking while we're resting, just catching our breath.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, Silver's just going to the blacksmith and being like, "Hey, we got your supplies. This is what happened, and I'm gonna go dump this out."
Also, have your axes back.
And thanks for the axes. They might be a little dull.
So here's my question: how do you give when you guys got all of the ore and various things? Since it was a bunch of barrels, and the barrels were huge.
We were dumping the barrels into the bag.
You had dumped
the
all
barrels wouldn't fit into the bag.
Right. You had dumped all the barrels' contents into your bag of holding, and now you are going to be giving the stuff to the blacksmith by way of. Are you going to basically be like or and grab into your bag, or are you going to just dump your whole bag?
She's gonna dump the whole bag.
You're like a big room with nothing in it, so I can empty this out safely because this is a lot of shit.
Yeah, and I can help you put things away.
Ends up making a pile as tall as an elephant.
Good thing we have an elephant.
Well,
Now,
how does the blacksmith take the thing that the caravan was attacked by Displacer Beast?
I'm getting to that. I was just wanting to confirm that you are aware that you have other stuff in the bag.
Yeah, she would flip it out and then she would grab her things and put it back in and stuff. Except for the Displacer Beast hide. She'll just leave that out.
I mean, we don't have a lot of shit in our in the bag of holding that's ours specifically. Could just take all that out, put it into another container, and then just dump out all the ore.
Good point, because
it would save the trouble of having to sift through a mountain of rocks to find our shit and pull it out, and that runs the risk of losing something.
Okay, yeah, no. I guess
All
we can
right,
do
all
that.
right, fair enough.
Because
Okay.
she's pulling out. Yeah. Because all we have is like the full plate, the quarterstaff, the cursed battle axe, some gems, rations, your crossbow. And she leaves the displacer beast hide in there and be like, for the trouble, you can have this as
All right.
well.
So, you inform him that his troop that was going to be bringing supplies, were attacked by the displacer beasts. Great. So you have all of the supplies and all that, and were there any survivors from the attack at all?
Not that we could tell.
No.
Okay. All right. And he sort of looks between you two, and and you brought all the supplies with you here. Do you have a bag of holding or something?
Silver taps her
Dunk.
bag. May I pull some things out before I dump all the supplies out?
If you got things that are in the bag that are yours, it makes sense to do that before. Yeah, I
She
wouldn't want
goes and
all your
like
stuff
starts
to be
making like
buried
a
in
little
the.
pile of our things, and then comes back over. Okay, where do you want this stuff dumped at?
A lot.
Well, it would eventually be making its way into my storeroom anyway. I would just have to search it to, sort everything. But
I can help you with that too.
all right. Uh, wait. He sort of just takes a passing glance over at your stuff, and that's a very finely made battle axe, whatever that is.
Yeah, don't touch it.
Yes, don't. All right, all right. Fair enough.
It's cursed.
You're not there.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. Don't touch the battle axe and don't touch the crossbow. You'll be fine.
Yeah. So storeroom is over here. Um,
She goes over to the storm room, just like is it
wait,
like she
wait,
takes the door
wait.
open?
Hold on.
Hold on.
Did you?
Silver's tired.
Yeah, I know. I realize you're tired. I'm sorry, but did you, by any chance, um, in and amongst all the ore and stuff like that, did you find? I mean, I'm sure there was gems in amongst with all the ore. Did you find a gem that was separate from all of the supplies?
There was mention of the gem, but we couldn't find it. There was no description of it or anything in it, so I don't know if it's part of the gems we found or not.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's get everything dealt with.
She just goes and flips.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna bring the barrels.
Right. I know. I can get more barrels. That's neither here nor there. Besides, I have extra lumber now. So.
Yeah.
Man, see, it all sorts of stuff out. Very neat.
Okay.
The fire, that's still going.
And you were going to help me sort through? Was that it?
Yes. Yes, she was, and then she's like, I'm gonna go to bed now.
Once it's all sorted.
Yes.
How about you, big guy?
I'd help as well.
Master sorter.
Yeah, I mean, Cad is good at sorting things, apparently.
Probably more into paperwork. This, but I'm also totally into helping. So, yeah.
Right. Alrighty then. So, what sort of check would I have you roll to help sort?
Intelligence?
Well, we have the blacksmith. The blacksmith can just tell us where to toss things.
Yes, really, it's just a time investment.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, you take some time to sort through everything, and you find all the various supplies. The blacksmith, he sorts through and indicates for you which bins and which areas of the storage room to move which things. And then he gets to that displacer cloak that you mentioned.
The hide we aimed
Or
to
the
turn
hide, yeah.
into a cloak.
So you said that I could have the hide for my troubles then? Alright, well, let's get things settled down, and I will pay you for your actual endeavor to me. I just want everything in town settled down first.
What was important about that gem?
It had a lot of
Because there was
sentimental.
no description. Huh?
There was no description given because gemstones are typically categorized by either color and or value,
Right.
and unfortunately the person who was going to be delivering that gem and the only one that saw it, really, it was a special gem. He doesn't seem to really want to divulge all the information about it.
Okay.
But suffice to say, Locke or Cad and Silver can both tell that it's incredibly valued to him, either because of actual worth or perhaps even a more sentimental thing. But yeah, other than that, you've gotten all your supplies together and or all of the supplies and things gathered up, and you're groovy.
Okay.
So are you and your friend going? You and your friends going to go look into the arsonist who ever started the fire out there?
Yeah, I could use to rest first, but yeah.
Right. I'm assuming if you had head down towards the mountains and saw the fire and then come running up this way, it would take a lot out of you to come all the way up here.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Alright, well, get some well-deserved rest. I think the town is safe for the most part. It's not going to spread any further. At least that's the hope anyway. I'm probably going to need to get some rest too. Alright. And then he sort of moves to leave the shop because he actually does not live in his shop, unlike a lot of other shop owners. But his stuff is sorted. He seems to be more or less content with the regards of the fire, at least, and the fact that he has his supplies now.
I have to do a long rest in order to get rid of exhaustion.
Yep. Long rest is what's required to get rid of exhaustion.
I mostly push for a short rest because that'll let me get my spell slot back. I only get 2 of those a day unless I space out short rests, and I can get my spell slots back on a short rest. So,
That's the thing. You can have a short rest as to get rid of exhaustion, need a long rest.
Yeah. So the thing is, though, is all of you are pushing for going after the person immediately. So.
Well,
we're waiting for the fire to die down. We don't know how long the fire's going to die down. That's the thing.
So, how about I go and crash at the tavern, and Locke can come and wake me up if there is any sort of issue.
Yeah, that's the deal. We'll go and crash there. Probably fall asleep at a table.
I'm gonna fall asleep at a bed.
That seems more healthy.
Yep. All right. And for the sake of all the incidents going on and the fact that there are some others whose refugees from their farmhouses that were closer to the east, not anyone knows, mind you, but it is safe to say that there are others that are resting in the tavern and inn, and the tavern owner has made sleep this night, this day, however you need it, on the house. Not worrying about it right now.
Okay.
So going for long rest, or at least as long as it takes for the fire to start to die down.
Seeking to not be exhausted.
Yes. All right. So Locke, the others go and get an actual long rest. But you got a short rest.
I'll make the use of the remaining time to just keep an eye on the fire and monitor it and the situation in general.
All right.
Yeah, after my short rest is done, I spend pretty much my whole short rest just catching my breath and talking to Mom. So,
was there anything in particular that you wanted to talk to her about?
mostly initially just make sure everything was all right, that she was fine, and after that, probably just talking about the trip.
All right. Do you actually tell her that you fought a bunch of displacer beasts or a couple of displacer beasts?
Oh yeah, totally. Like I give her the full recap.
Yes. You are going to keep an eye on the fire then.
Yep. See how much it dissipates. See if there's anything unusual skulking within. Just monitoring things in general.
Give for me a perception check.
I'm really gonna have to take a feat next time I get one that increases my perception, because having no bonuses is frustrating. 12.
Okay. So you look out over the fire, or through the wildfire. You are able to discern that it's not going to it's not going to cross over. There are many areas in which the blaze could have spread, but it's not. It's actually not made that jump, and there's no debris or anything in the vicinity for it to jump to, and the wind walls that have been placed up prior are not necessarily needed at this point because there's no fuel for anything for it to catch to. And it very clearly is safe. You don't see any sort of movement or any kind of shady business in the actual forest itself.
I'm gonna do a thing.
Okay.
Theorizing in my head that a magically started fire, if it was started by magic, then even though it's technically a fire that's spreading, logic would dictate that if it was magically started, that magic aura would stay with the flames. Is kind of the logic I have in my head. Not sure if that's accurate or not. I'm gonna have Locke get close enough to the flames and then cast detect magic and just see if they're magic fire or natural, or if I can even discern that whatsoever.
Okay.
Or if there are any other undesirable magic auras around that I should be aware of.
Okay.
I can cast detect magic without using spell slots. It's just a thing I can do. So,
yes, you can. All right. So give me a Arcana check then.
Arcana, roll well, roll well, roll well. 22.
22. Nice.
Ha!
All right. Yes. So the initial source, or at least as best as Locke could tell and discern with that 22 Arcana, there is in fact a residual sort of nature, a magical nature to the fire. It's very thinned at this point because having spread to other things, it's sort of like been sort of I mean, it's fire. It's technically not watered down, but that's like the best sort of terminology I can use. Basically, you have the sort of sense that it is magical in origin, and the sort of signature or archonic nature to it is sort of hard to, yeah, something like that. Magic signature is diluted to distance. Um, but it
Alright.
was in fact started by magic, specifically the likes of
I'm
various,
assuming evocation.
yeah, evocation and fire-based magic, quite obviously. The likes of
Right.
perhaps fireball or uh, other invocation spells of that nature.
So it definitely establishes that this is our arsonist.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll file that information away.
All right. And you actually you got pretty close to the flames to sort of get that effect off, right?
Within 30 feet, I believe. Let me check the range on detect magic real quick. Detect magic. Within 30 feet of me. So yeah, I had to get within 30 feet, just like when I did the flickery thingy with thaumaturgy. Same distance, pretty much the exact same spot, really.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, you it yeah, basically that. You sort of just detect the fire signature. I'm assuming Locke's not going to stay too close to the flames after being able to discern all that. So,
Yeah. Once I get that, I'm heading back within the city limits and monitoring from afar.
yep. Okay. Fair enough.
I'm letting the others get their rest, and I'm just keeping an eye on things, like intermittently sitting down and closing my eyes periodically to just make sure I don't completely exhaust my own self. Like it's like I just find a nice spot to sit, so I'm not burning energy and just keeping an eye on the situation,
Alrighty. Fair enough.
making myself useful while everyone else is getting in their long rests.
Alrighty. So yeah, you don't
Because I can
see.
speak from real life experience. If you sit in one place for an entire day, you're going to burn off so little energy, you'll be just as awake at midnight as you were when you got up at 8 in the morning. I vouch from experience on that.
Yeah. So,
Because I have a very sedentary job, I almost never leave this fucking chair.
alrighty. So, you don't see anything. Nothing weird happens. The forest slowly is essentially starting to run out of fuel. And it is very slowly dying down. Some of the other magic users have come up to start to use uh, water-based and ice-based magic to try to douse the flames entirely to try to put it out. Um, and yeah, it's things are very much died down fire-wise by the time the others have gotten their long rest. Although now it's probably, if they were to wake up within their 8 hours of rest, it's probably like super early in the morning at this point because you wandered off and fought the lizard guy after waking up in the morning, and then you booked it to get back to
Yukiege, so it's probably like evening by the time we got back, because that's still a long trek.
yeah. So it'd be in the evening at night when all this fire craziness went down, and then it's probably early morning the next day by the time they woke up. So yeah. All right.
8 or 9 a.m. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yep. So no one interrupts your long rest. You guys get some long rest, and in the morning, the barkeep has got some drinks and food out once again, free of charge for all those present. Which there are some people who don't normally frequent a tavern that are in here. What are you guys doing?
Well, so we're I guess getting up and getting ready to make an expedition and see what's out there in the burning land.
All right. Young's doing much the same.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So you guys head out. Locke's probably got some degree of rest, more so than just a short rest. But
like I said, I kind of let myself doze from time to time while I was keeping an eye on the fire from wherever it was I found to sit. Like I pulled a stool or something and just leaned up against the side of a house and just watched.
Yeah.
So I let myself doze from time to time, but for the most part, just watching, doing nothing.
Alrighty then. So you guys wake up. You come to the area where Locke is sitting, keeping an eye on the fire while not looking at the back of his eyelids from dozing off.
Yep. Look up. Oh, hey. Rest well, you guys?
Yes.
I can tell you this. This fire was the product of our arson. This wasn't a natural wildfire. I checked that pretty early into my watch. So we do have a culprit to find. I'll stand up at that point. I am not taking point.
Yeah, no. I would imagine not.
I've been awake for close to 48 hours at this point.
You should have slept.
Actually, wait, no, it was closer to 24 hours.
Yeah, 24.
Yeah. I got some rest while I was sitting here, but I'm still a little...
Alright. Well, do we head out, venture out, see if we can find this arsonist?
Yep.
Yes.
Bit of adrenaline will do me some good, and I don't want that bastard setting fire to anything else, much less my mom or her books.
Yes. Alright. So, we head out. Alright. So, you're making your way out.
Yep, we are making our way out, heading into the forest. If at all possible, as we're going, I want to see if I can do that thaumaturgy flicker of the fire trick to make it less likely for any of us to accidentally get burned as we're going through. Just like creating a small little bubble of modestly safer passage, I guess, if possible. I mean, it's a cantrip. I can just spam that and be fine.
Right, yeah.
So I just want to do that to make it less likely for anyone to burn themselves.
The fire's died down a biggest chunk of it at this point, but yeah, that's probably a good idea. It is smoky, it is burnt, but most of that has died down at this point to where, with a little help from thaumaturgy here and there, you're not necessarily worried about randomly catching flame yourself. What is y'all's plan of attack to look through here?
I suppose we just look for any signs of someone, like... Here's a thought. It occurs to me, we can tell how long something's been burning by the severity of the burns on it, right? Like the deeper in we go, the more intense the damage will be because the fire raged for longer deeper in, right?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
So with that in mind, I vote we try to find the epicenter of where the burns are the most intense. That should give us a good starting point for finding a trail to lead us to the culprit.
Right.
So just follow the devastation until we reach where it's the most intense, and go from there.
All right.
Okay.
Perception rolls, people.
I was going to be survival, but all right.
Or, yeah, survival. Yeah.
Oh, well, crap. Okay.
I have survival, so
I don't.
17.
18.
We're being useful. Cat got a 4. The most animalistic among us is the most useless in this scenario. Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry,
All right.
Cat.
Young
He's too
survival.
busy by the smell.
Young survival. Do you have survival? No, you don't. Okay. Boop. Also a 4. Well then.
17, 18, 4, 4. Perez was right. 4 is an unlucky number.
Alrighty then. So, Young and Cad are not so hot in trying to discern where the fire is the most severe. But Silver and Locke, you get some pretty definitive.
Actually, I have a question.
Okay.
Can I use scent to figure out which direction the smoke is the faintest?
It might be kind of a confusing mess of smell, so I don't know if that'd work.
Well, things that had burned more recently would have a more smoky smell, whereas things that had burned earlier would probably not smell as strong because the wind would have carried the smell off. Was my thinking.
I mean, that's reasonable, but you have a strong sense of smell. You're not a bloodhound.
No.
Otherwise,
I can get on all fours.
otherwise, your sense would have also triggered on survivals to track, which it does not.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's a reasonable idea. It's just you don't have a strong enough sense of smell for that.
Yep.
But anyway, now if we was to happen to have some sort of canine or wolf among your party, then maybe. But anyway,
Where did we leave Hollis?
I know, right? He's with Mama. He's fine. You know, you're making your way towards the epicenter of the flames, which is, we'll say, and I'm assuming you'll be guiding the ones that couldn't find it, so you're going down this way. It's in and about right here. Just ignore that some people are actually in trees. It's fine. And you sort of found the epicenter of the blaze, as it were, where the fires have perhaps initially started. And you see the makings of vast majority of it is completely incinerated and burnt away, but you do see, and with your high enough survivals, I'm giving you this as well. You do see the, well, yes, because you were looking for where the fire started, and this is part of where the fire started. So, and it was high rolls. So, it appears to be the makings of a camp, or what's left of a camp. And you're not really able to discern a whole lot about it, but it is the makings of a camp. And it appears as if this is not necessarily a camp that one would have stayed in for just a couple of nights. This is a place that somebody was holed up. There's remains of, like, effects in that sense of someone was, like, staying here. This was a home of some sort. Not just like a campground, camp. This was like more leaning towards someplace that someone was hiding or staying. But other than that, there's not a whole lot else here. Not that you can immediately see with your initial things.
Alright.
And so Young, who doesn't really have the... He rolled a 4 on survival earlier, is just... Okay, well...
What are we looking at?
Yeah, what are we looking at here?
Burnt tree, burnt tree, burnt tree.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a camp, like a permanent or long-term camp. It's all dust now, but
Everyone's gonna look around and see if there's like any signs of, like, I don't know, a body or something.
And Locke will look for tracks or anything we can use to follow.
What is Cad doing?
So is there like remnants of like a fire pit or something, or
Yeah.
how elaborate is the camp?
That's sort of the part that helps to tell that, you know, it's a more long-term camp, because there's the remains of, like, a fire pit, a dug hole, rocks, that sort of thing, lumber, to sort of discern this is where somebody made a campfire or a bonfire for extended periods of time, and there would be a tent, but that tent is completely burnt away at this point, and still we're rolling a 2 on your investigation. You'll find a whole lot of nothing.
I assume I'm rolling survival again for tracks, because that's usually how that works.
Yeah, probably.
Alright, survival. Normal. 17 again.
Oh, nice. You do find some tracks. They're effectively in, like, the ash of stuff that had been moved around. So it's effectively the tracks that are looking at are tracks that high enough survival. I'll give this to you logically. These are tracks that were made after the blaze.
All right.
Perhaps
I'm assuming?
perhaps either during it or just after it.
Right. I'm assuming bipedal, sort of human size, something like that.
They are. They are human shaped, human size. They seem relatively small, though, so a smallish human.
All right. I got some tracks over here.
So I have one other question. The fire pit's surrounded by stone and such, right?
Yep.
Could I maybe use my stone cunning racial to investigate the stone and see if it was like a normal fire that burned out of control, or if the fire may not have actually started, the big fire may not have started in this pit? Like, are there any scorch marks or anything that would be worth poking around and finding?
Is that, does it say that stone cutting gives you an advantage on investigation with stone?
I can make a history check related to stonework, and I'm considered proficient with history, and I add double proficiency bonus instead of normal. Which sounds fancy, but I guess it would actually be a pretty sizable bonus. It
would be, but it's specifically on the make. It's specifically to history of stones, which would be to the make of how stonework is built, rather than
how they did it, not what burned it. Okay.
Right. Yep.
I can use detect magic to try and discern that. Realistically speaking, the point where the fire originated, where the spell's cast that caused the flame would be brighter in my eyes than where it spread to, because it would be the origin point where it started.
So then you mentioned that you saw the tracks and you see me hunkered down, like, investigating the fire pit. And I would say, trying to see if it was a normal fire that got out of hand, or I don't know.
Well, I know the fire was magically caused. I'll turn on detect magics, like eyes like flicker for a sec. What do I see?
Okay. So you see here, I had you do it before, so yeah, roll Arcana for me again.
All right, Arcana, 19. I am
You're
rolling
doing well
good today.
You too are.
Yeah.
Good job. Meanwhile, Silver is investigating the remains of the thing, and there's like a burnt.
This is definitely ash.
There's a bunch of ash, and
this
there's
ash is
like,
made out of ash.
There's like stonework things that were not actually burnt. They were just sort of crisped away, like something close to pottery, maybe even. And then she just. But anyway, so Arcana, you're rolling really well. Anyway, so you are able to discern two things in particular that flash and sort of ding on your radar. One, the strong origin point to this blaze did not originate from the fire pit. However, the fire pit has had a lot of magic used on it the same sort of spells and repertoire as was used to make this blaze, and you're able to, with that high enough roll, you're able to discern that. Because I do like the idea that magic is treated like chakra was in Naruto, though you don't know the specifics of that. That's fine. I do like that idea when it comes to you doing sort of detective work with your detect magic. The person who started the blaze did not start it in the bonfire, and was a different person than the person who typically used fire to create a bonfire.
I relay that to the group. The person who made this fire pit isn't the one who started the blaze. And when they did start the blaze, I pointed the origin point, they did it there, on the pit. So this is someone else's camp, and our arson either hijacked it or something to that effect, and blew things up from here. Maybe attempting to mislead? Make us think that it was just a wildfire that grew out of control? Makes sense to me. Honestly, kind of a clever trick if that's what they tried.
That's
Sharp
reasonable.
eyes.
Sharp eyes, and does my detect magic thing make my eyes glow in this
Yes, it does.
context?
Yes, it does.
I'll sort of turn my glowing eyes to Cad, be like, sharp eyes and a bit of magic myself. I'll turn off detect magic at that point and stand up. Shall we follow the tracks? It'll either lead us to the arson or whoever this camp belonged to, or both.
Sure.
All right. I'm not taking point. You assume my previous position in the group. Like behind Cad, I'm assuming.
Yeah, probably. I sort of imagine it Silver in front, Cad right behind her, you behind Cad, and then Yong in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Locke was on my head and Jan was on my left shoulder and Spur was on my right shoulder.
No.
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 No. You're not that big.
We marched onwards.
I already use all of your shoulders, okay, man?
Alrighty. So you sort of follow the tracks for a bit. You can sort of indicate where they were. Silver, if you are in front, you can make a roll of survival to keep track of the tracks. It's not going to be hard.
Nope.
Well,
Can I give her advantage by helping her?
yes, you can. Go ahead and roll it again.
Okay.
Psst, it was over there.
There you go.
Okay.
And 10 is a 15.
Just at 10.
All right. So you are keeping track. Everything is good. You travel southward for a bit. Is anyone stealthing? Or are you just following the tracks?
Okay, you see, now that you tell us to, obviously we're all going to.
I don't have shoulder buddies, so I have no need to.
I was
Give me a
giving
second
you a
here.
passing chance. You know that you would be following the arsonist. It's reasonable to say that you might have a reason to go stealth. And for what it's worth, Yang is going to go stealth anyway out of instinct, because she always does.
All right, yep, I'm stealthing, because I'm decent at stealth. 23!
Sure, why not? Let's go stealth. 19.
Alrighty. Yang stealth. And Cad's not stealthing because he doesn't have a shoulder buddy, apparently.
Eh.
17.
Plus, to be fair, it would also be sort of foolish to follow some tracks that started over a day ago, and we don't know if we're going to be following these tracks for a day and a half, or, you know. I'm not going to sneak for a day and a half. That's silly.
I mean, reasonable. Okay.
They're just stepping lightly, really.
To be fair, though, because of his large size, Cad is very much making tracks in the ash. It's like snow, but not. not that that matters in any way. So,
Oh no, we're tracking our own footprints by way of these tracks.
I get the
Alright.
reference.
Haha.
I understood that.
I
fucking
don't.
reference. 8-bit theater. Oh my god, that's a nostalgia memory right there. I was like 6 or 5 when I first discovered that shit. All right, I was a tiny little shit.
Thanks for making me feel old. Thanks.
I already feel old. I was a kid when I saw that, and I still remember the voice
My
acting.
fingers are still hurting from yesterday. As in, like, I feel like I have carpal tunnel or arthritis in them.
Purple tunnel in your fingers.
Why do you
Ah.
sound like a female Kermit?
Yes. Okay, so we're wandering.
Yep.
Stealthily.
you wander
Leaving a
southward.
trail.
You wander southward, and you get further along in the tracks, and you see, in behind these, what remains of these trees, over here, you see a figure. He's got a hooded cloak, and you can't really discern features of him initially. And he is rather small in stature, and he is sort of,
That's all that ash you're breathing in.
yeah, really.
That was in character.
No.
That would have given us away.
he seems to be looking like through the remains of the ash and seeming to be digging down in and amongst these trees, and he's not looking up to where you guys are. But yeah, he's
How close can Silver get?
Are we going to put him on the map so we have like a frame of reference here?
yes. Just for you players, you're going to see the image of what this guy looks like as his cloak is pulled away, because the image that I have for him doesn't actually have his cloak. But that's fine. So, boop.
Can't really see it.
Down.
Okay, so for whatever reason, my first thought upon seeing that was, is that a miniature? Is that like a dwarf-sized black Jackie Chan with a mustache and a firebender?
I can't. No, I mean I can't actually really see the picture. How do I make it bigger?
You
Zoom all the way in.
Yes, that's a tree.
You
What
zoom
is
in.
he?
And,
A halfling?
yep.
Oh, great. We have an insane midget.
All right.
Maybe, if this is our arsonist.
So, yeah, you can get pretty close to probably this tree over here, Silver.
To what
It-
tree?
This tree.
Oh, she wanted to make her way like behind him.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You're making
like
your way
more
over this
over
way. Yeah.
Well, which way is he facing?
He is facing the trees over this way.
Okay, yeah, no, she wants to be over here.
Right
Like
behind
right
him.
here. Well, she's gonna go up and like draw her sword and like rest it by his neck if she doesn't get noticed.
I mean, nothing's really
Should I roll
changed.
another stealth?
Yeah, go ahead and roll another stealth.
Another
19 again.
19.
Well, we are rolling really well today, except for investigation. That sucks.
Yeah,
thanks.
so he doesn't notice you at all.
Okay, good. I go up and just like pull my blade out and just rest it on his shoulder. Don't move.
He flinches, but he doesn't actually say anything.
Did
And
you
he's-
start this fire?
He's looking to your blade out of the corner of his eye, sort of eyeing it, but he doesn't actually say anything initially. And Then you ask, did I start the fire, or did you start the fire?
Yes.
I did. What's it to you?
About 15 gold in the level. Oh wait, no.
I mean, he's not wrong. He's really not.
Oh, I could be.
You could be real mean right now.
I could. I really could, because my blade is resting on his shoulder right next to his neck and face.
I could also be really mean by casting a max level one of my damage spells on him. Like, he does confirm this is the fucker we're after.
Just do a non-lethal coup de grace on his neck.
I cannot believe it. You cleft him in twain non-lethally.
It's just a flesh wound.
All right.
Well,
Hang on a second. I'm going through my list of shit here. Give me a sec.
Locke, did you keep that? This is out of character. Out of character. Did you keep that magical collar thing?
Slave collar?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have it written in here.
No.
No, we didn't keep it.
Damn. Okay.
Young was too excited when she snapped it off his neck. It's currently sitting in the floor near where Cad used to stay.
Oh.
Or it was probably picked up.
Well,
I will.
yeah.
I will.
Based on
awaken
what you
my-
guys know, it's sitting there.
I will awaken mine to Silver and ask, do you want me to cast a spell to make this man's life a living hell, or do you want the honors, or what are we doing?
I would prefer to be able to take him in alive, but let me ask.
If he causes you any trouble, I am gonna make him hear all the worst things.
Ah!
The mighty cause.
The mighty cause. Fuck.
He is. It's
So
it's noticeable, Silver, that he is tense, but he is not intimidated by you.
I sort of step over into line of sight.
So she's going to sit there and be like, so are we going to make this easy or do it the hard way?
Oh, I should also note, Silver, something else that may be interesting about this individual, considering you got a blade to his neck.
Uh-huh.
In a very similar fashion to you, with your silver scales,
Mm-hmm.
he has red ones.
Oh boy, that would explain the fire.
She's still going to ask, do you want to make this easy or hard?
Hmm.
And she's writing in an action on his answer.
Okay. What are you readying your action for?
If he says the hard way, she's immediately going to speak Celestial and have her flame or sword ignite.
Okay.
So if he does anything that implies hard, you're gonna light him up. Gotcha. And of course, I'm pretty
Yes.
much gonna. And of course, I've got a third level dissonant whispers ready to go if he causes trouble.
And she's only doing this because she wants to make it.
I mean, I can declare non-lethal damage, and he'll just pass out if it does enough.
Yeah, she's hoping to like sear him a bit, and then do non-damage afterwards.
I can flap my large ears menacingly and ask him very politely to please give up.
So Young is
Stealthy.
actually stealthed
Young
and
is
made her way
stealthy.
over this way.
3 on my stealth. You should.
All right. So he at your can we do this the easy way or the hard way? He sort of smirks and the hard way seems fun. And just before you do your crazy, because he was not aware that that's what you were actually going to do, even though you had the blade to his neck, you see a flicker of fire in his hand.
There's no whispers going.
Yeah, and the blade of light in his face.
So he needs...
You're gonna hit a pyromancer with fire?
That's what she has.
Okay. Just checking.
So he needs to make that wisdom saving throw, DC 14.
Wisdom saving throw, DC 14.
This is going to be 5d6 damage. Because
Oh.
Well,
Poor dude. Poor dude. What is it? 14 you said?
14 is the DC, yes.
Hey, how about that?
Yay!
Damn.
I mean, not yay.
Well, he takes half of this damage then, so 21, so 10 damage.
Yep, so 10. Alright, and you set your sword ablaze?
Yeah.
And just for flavor, my dissonant whispers in his mind just sounds like a bunch of cacaws.
Because of course
Yeah, I
they
For
did.
the
do.
mighty cause.
And now I gotta.
Ha! Get it? Get it?
What?
Mighty cause.
Cause? Cause?
I don't get it.
The mighty cause.
She
There's
okay.
a cause for reason.
Mighty
Okay,
cause,
never mind.
spelled like that.
But it's like,
Oh! I'm sorry, I'm eating bread.
Anyway,
Eating bread gives you disadvantage on standing
hearing.
fun.
anyway,
Well, I
So-
didn't realize that was a pun. I mean, I figured that's what you meant, like mighty cause is an objective, but I didn't think that related to anything. I just thought you were making a really
No, that's our
unfunny
group
play on
name
words.
now.
No.
anyway, so are you
I
going
thought-
to slash at him, or are you just roasting him with the fire damage of it?
It's a bonus action to ignite it, and yeah, she's going to slash
Slash
at
him non-lethally.
In the jugular.
All right, roll your attack.
Maybe sear his face a little.
I mean, I guess technically you wouldn't necessarily have to roll your attack, but eh.
Yeah, she can do it with advantage.
21.
Oh yeah, that'll hit him.
Either way. Yeah, so, pwah. Ooh.
A total of 21.
If
Yeah,
he takes
that's
full fire
21.
damage.
Full fire damage.
Okay. Ow.
Yeah, so kind of right across his face.
My brain
Let
is
the pain
failing
sink
me at
in.
math. My brain is failing me at math because I am tired.
Click on token, say -2, 1 enter.
I don't. He don't have a token for that. His
Okay.
token is just a picture. Okay.
So if I wanted to run at him and basically, you said he's a relatively small person, right?
Oh yeah.
So if I wanted to run at him and just sort of dogpile of me and just sort of fall onto him, pinning him to the ground, how would I actuate that maneuver?
That would just be a strength check, wouldn't it?
It would
I
be
think it would be a grab.
It would be a grapple check.
With the added bonus that you'd be
To throw my mass on top of a tiny little person?
Yeah, but he has
Um,
time to get out of the way.
It would be grapple.
While having dissonant whispers and
All sorts of other shenanigans.
flame sword in the same 6-second period of time.
Mm.
I mean, you could do a strength check. You could do a strength check and flavor it as a shove straight down to knock him prone. I'd let you do that.
Strength check or strength?
Strength check.
Check or save or okay.
Strength check.
Okay, and you said just a normal one.
Yep, just roll a strength check.
All right, so I charge in his general direction, and I do with it.
All right. He will most definitely see
Keeping
you.
in mind, my goal is to like collide with him.
Right.
So you
Collide with
kinda
him and.
dive above him.
Okay.
I bounce off of his head and land in the tree.
No. No, you're fine. Basically, he sees you coming, and he jumps back. into the trees and away from all of your crazy shenanigans. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Roll for initiative, because he's ready to fight now.
Oh, is that his initiative?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So
And he got in that one. That means he has a 0 initiative. Never gets a turn. He just stands there.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's
no.
how that works.
Oh, but it's a that one.
It's an @1, but that just means he goes last.
yeah, and we have all this damage coming his way.
He is so fucked.
He burned through all of his reflexes not to be bum rushed by an elephant.
And now he's gonna be carved, crushed, annoyed, and backstabbed to near death because we want him alive for some reason.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. What you doing, Silver?
Silver's gonna step in and do non-lethal attacks 2 times.
Kebab.
Well, it's a 26.
Oh yeah, that'll
That's
hit.
a 13. So first attack.
13 misses.
Okay, that's fine. So he just takes 17 with the fire.
Okay. Alrighty. So what you doing, Cad?
I can hit him from my current location, right?
Yes.
I guess I will swing a couple times with
Hammer.
Hammer.
reckless attack, and yes, of
Alright.
course the hammer.
Yep.
So number 1,
Yeah.
I think that's it. And
Wait.
2.
Hold on.
Huh.
Reaction.
It doesn't have to be used in rage
Reaction. Shield. You don't hit him at all.
Ooh.
with either one.
Nope.
Well, darn it.
Oh, because it lasts the entire turn.
Wait,
Mhm.
hold on. Can I counterspell that?
No, what's a reaction?
Reacting to the reaction. Sounds reactionary.
Counterspell's a reaction. It'll cost me my last spell slot, reducing me to just cantrips, but I can do that.
Here, what does my shield say?
Does it say for your next attack, or does it say until your next turn, or what does it say?
Until the start of your next turn, you have +5 bonus to AC, including against triggering attacks, and you take no damage from magical missiles.
That doesn't answer the question, Dorrit, can I counterspell that? Like, he brings it up and like, can I immediately just shut it down? Because counterspell's a reaction. Your ruling. Your campaign. Can I react to a react? That is the ruling.
I feel like the reason that counterspell can be used as a reaction is because you're reacting to a spell that's being cast before it's cast, and since shield takes a reaction to cast, it's too fast.
Alright.
Well, darn it. That's it, I guess.
All right.
Still,
Yes.
As a bonus action, can I like narrow my eyes and be like, I don't like you?
it's okay, big guy. You just need a rage.
All right. So Locke.
Alright, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to Dissonant Whispers him again, using up my last spell slot, again, 3rd level, so he needs to make that DC 14 Wiz saving throw.
Good.
Fuck! Alright, so we take 7 damage,
Okay.
and Locke's kind of going to crumble to himself and then immediately duck back to where he was, and that'll be his turn.
Shields to your next turn, right?
Yep, so he still gets
Yes,
that plus
so
5 to
he
his AC.
still has it. Oh, wait, no. It'll drop after Yang.
Right. It'll drop
I thought
after
you said
Yang.
until the start of your next turn.
Yeah, it's to the start of his next turn, which his turn hasn't happened yet. So his shield's gonna go away after his turn here, but Yang goes first. So Yang, roar. Which he is,
Steady, steady.
5 with his feet.
which he is not aware of her, because she has been stealth this whole time.
advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Sneak attack. Bring him down! Fuck him up! Someone shouting in a Jacksepticeye voice. Fuck him up!
Oh,
That so beats the +5 AC.
Yeah, that's a critical hit.
All right.
And on top
well,
of the stealth attack, I think that, well, young, proven way rogues are amazing.
yeah. Okay.
I didn't
So,
even calculate the damage here.
let's
Right.
do, because this is on her sneak attack. She would not get assassinate, and it wouldn't matter because all assassinate would do would be give her the initial crit anyway. So, yeah.
Yay!
And then
Shout cacaw when you hit him.
No.
no.
We don't have Wesley in the group. That's not...
Oh.
Oh, real quick, I had a question. Based off of last session with the green flame blade, we said that Silver can have it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I just want to make those adjustments real quick.
Okay. So yeah. Her next attack roll, not at advantage anymore because now he's aware of her. That's a miss. And that's also a miss because shield. He is on his last legs, but it is his turn. He is not a happy halfling dude right now.
If he starts another fire, I'm a riot.
Yeah, he's gonna light the ash on.
I mean, magic, that shit happens sometimes.
We got, dude. What can you do?
Self-destruct.
Alright, so what he is going to do.
Oh shit, he's gonna cast Fireball, isn't he? I just realized. That's a thing
We're
he
all
did.
too close upon him. He'll hit
Um,
himself.
What is the thingy thing? He sort of growls, worried, and does this little mini charge up thing. He is using sorcery points because he is a sorcerer. He can do that.
Good boy.
And sorcery to quicken spell to cast a spell as a bonus action. Wall of fire. Whoosh.
Oh.
And he is going to cast Wall of Fire, basically making, he's not going to get Cad, because he does it in a line to block off, Silver and Young and potentially Locke, though Locke casts spells, so it doesn't really matter. He spent his bonus action through Quicken to cast Wall of Fire, and then cast it up like that, and is going to use his action this turn, to disengage so that Cad doesn't get an attack of opportunity, and he is going to run the heck away. Young and Silver need to make dexterity saves. Is that 11?
To you, Young.
Yeah. So you will take full damage, or Silver will take full damage, and Young will take full damage. Yay.
What kind of action is disengage?
Disengage, assuming you are not a rogue, is always going to be a normal attack action to do disengage.
Standard action, basically.
But he used his sorcery points to make Wall of Fire a bonus.
Gotcha.
23
Damn.
to Young and Silver.
That's painful.
And then he is going to run. He makes his way up this way.
So is Wall of Fire a, like, physical barrier, or is it a, I don't want to run through the fire?
It is a...
I believe you can run through it. It just hurts a lot.
I mean, you're going to have to make a dexterity check to take damage to be taking damage from the flames if you was to run through it. But
Gotcha.
Ryong and Silver would not necessarily take any extra damage because they take their initial damage when the fire goes there to run. So for Silver and Yong both,
In the middle of it, they could feasibly just pass right through.
yeah, Yong and Silver can just run right on straight through it if they so wish to do so. And
you're already through it there, Ken. You're on the safe side.
Yeah, you're on the safe side.
Right.
And for what it's worth, because I don't want to have to bother getting another map, he is going to run, and I'm going to stretch out this far as to go around the map. So he's up here.
He just got really far away.
Yeah, so he's up there.
All right. Over.
Oh, it's my turn?
It is your turn.
Okay, let's see here. And how far away did you say he is from me?
He is...
35.
Yeah, he's a little over 30 feet away.
Shit. Alright. Oh. You know, he's a humanoid.
He is a humanoid.
Yeah! Bold person. Gotta love that shit.
So it's against my... Let's see, a wisdom saving throw. Just trying to think of what my wisdom saving would be.
Your spell DC is 15. Top of the character sheet.
Alright, yeah.
So, wisdom saving throw for DC 15.
Yes! Yes!
Alright.
You're going nowhere, you little fucker.
Are you going to spend your move action to step out of the fire like a freaking badass
badass,
Hollywood
yes.
movie something?
Yeah, she'll move closer and cast
Alright.
whole potion and be like, stop.
You're like, no.
Stop. Oh, you're not leaving. Come on, we're taking you in.
Alright. So, you step out through this way.
Please warp me around up close to him. I would
Yep.
be like 5 feet away from him.
Small computer, it's fine. There you go.
Right there.
Alright, so he is stopped cold. Cad, what are you doing?
Knock him out, please. Wait,
So, okay.
I'm reading something. Doesn't say anything about attack on him, but okay. So you can attack him if you want.
He's looking pretty haggard, I will point out.
Knock him out.
What are you doing, Cad?
Okay. So, I just saw my friends get infirinated right in front of me. I could make a move and enrage and smack them when I got there, right?
You
Yes,
could.
but the thing is, are you smart enough not to do lethal damage?
It would be very hard for you to not do lethal damage in a rage.
I usually, this is sort of out of character context sort of thing. I typically don't rage unless I am hit or you guys are hit.
Yeah.
We can wail on the enemy, whoever typically rage, until one of us are hurt. I'm wondering if it would be an instance where I would be enraged because I just saw both Silver and Yon get blazed.
Roll me a... This is weird, but I think it makes sense in context. Because you don't want to... Part of Cad's character is he doesn't like using rage and he doesn't like killing.
Mm-hmm.
You were relatively close to to little Mr. Halfling when he bolted to run away. Roll for me medicine to see if you're able to discern how well he is physically as he bolts. Okay, you got at least a 10, I'll give it to you. He is looking very, very weak. I think it's reasonable for Cad to think that
Not.
with a 10 that you enraged, you're going to kill him. Assuming you hit him, you are going to kill him.
Okay. But I could run at him and recklessly...
Yeah, you most
Okay.
certainly can run at him and recklessly attack. And
I can definitely catch up to him because I move faster than he does.
Yep. And you can choose to do non-lethal damage as part of your reckless attack if you so choose to not kill him.
Yeah. I guess let's do that. That sounds good. And 14.
14 misses on your first hit.
And...
Well then.
He's going to be very unconscious.
Okay.
Golf swing.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually imagining a bit of a golf swing to this. You just come up and you just full underhand, ka-thung, and you knock him backwards, end over end into a tree, and yeah, he is very unconscious.
Yay!
Does anyone have rope?
I mean, what sort of starting equipment did you give Locke?
Yeah, hang on, I'm looking.
Chad most certainly does not have rope.
I don't have rope listed. I must have used it at some point.
Oh, I have rope. Never mind.
Yep, you can tie him up.
Yeah, she's tying him up, and then she's gonna rip like a bit of his like clothing up and just gag his mouth with it.
And
Oh.
pour salt on the wound.
Okay.
Does his flame all dissipate because now he's unconscious?
Yes. He most
I-
certainly cannot keep concentration on the flame wall when he is unconscious.
Fair enough.
Be like, snap, freaking set me on fire, mother.
You two all right?
Yes.
Hmm.
You sure? You I'll head over and have a look. See.
Yep.
We
Silver
caught
and
the
Young are
bugger, didn't we?
like a bit burnt.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
And
so we
Young's-
caught the little
Young's,
shit, did
Like, I thought I was going to avoid the fire, but thanks, dude. Okay.
Let's take him back to
we?
town.
Well, at least you didn't have to imagine it.
Silver wants to look through his things.
Okay.
Shit.
So investigation.
Yep. Investigation.
14.
Okay. He has a few things of interest in amongst his garb that he's got there. He has a coin purse of roughly 10 gold and a single gem. The gem is a blue one and is worth 10 gold also. And
She gives them to the other people.
So 2 gold, so 2, 4, 6. It's enough for each of us to get 3 with 1 left over.
he has actually, yeah, sure. Make
What
the
is
math
it,
easy.
3?
Make the math easy. He has 12 gold, not 10. Still
Okay.
1 gem though.
So it's, so we each get 3.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right.
So, also in amongst his things, you see a tattered photo. It looks like it was almost burnt to a crisp, but not. And on said photo, you see what appears to be a family
Wait,
of
they have
halflings.
cameras here?
You
Or
mean
well,
like
a
sketch or
drawn
drawing?
picture. Sketch. Yeah, sketch. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Makes
Um,
more sense.
Yeah. This sort of thing would be easier if it was in a modern setting where pictures were a thing, but whatever. It is drawn sketch. That works just as well. You have a drawn sketch of what appears to be a happy halfling family. And Silver, looking at it, roll me a perception. See if you notice something about it. 11.
11.
Yeah. Just seems to be a happy little halfling family. They're sort of standing over a house. It looks like it would be a house in one of the bigger cities, like perhaps Rydell, maybe. And it looks like it's in a more crowded sort of district. And the way that there's 5 little halflings all huddled together, you're pretty able to determine that it's a little family. It's 2 boys, a girl, and then quite possibly mother and father figures. And yeah, just this tattered drawing of a halfling family.
Okay. Kat, do you want to carry him back?
Sorry, say again.
Are you willing to carry him back to town? He's
Yeah,
gagged and bound.
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Very, very easy for you to do. He's even lighter than Locke. So
Pick him up with one hand.
just like you can grab him by the ropes that he's bound with, and he's just sort of dangling there.
It's like less than picking up a sack of potatoes.
Oh yeah, it basically is a sack of potatoes to Cat.
Yeah, so to
Less than.
town.
All right, heading back.
Onwards.
All right, you guys make your way back to town. And as you return, Shield Buff is actually out with the wind, where the remains of the wind wall and the fire was. So he's actually there to see you guys come back in. You bring him back into town. Shield Buff is on the edge of the town when you guys come back in, and he, yeah, it doesn't take you a long time to get back to town. It wasn't that far away, and he was thrown for quite the loop, so he's a little out with a humongous welt on the side of his head.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And Shield Buff, seeing you come back in, he's, well then,
You found your arsonist.
I assume that, yeah, I was going to wager that that was our arsonist.
He admitted to it, quite callously. So we beat the shit out of him and dragged him back.
Clearly. Hoping to stop the town from a fire, and then bringing the arsonist to justice, I suppose.
Right.
What have you learned about him? Anything?
That he's a dick and he has a picture. That's about it.
Well,
Of like a family or something.
see.
But that's it.
Well then. We can place him in the holding cell that we have here, though we would most certainly have to put someone capable on guard. I've been meaning to get this town a little bit more protected anyway, so maybe this is for the best.
Straw that broke the camel's back, eh?
Suppose so.
It's worth pointing out he is a wizard, so you don't, or a spellcaster of some description, so you don't want to take that gag out, but that's going to make questioning him difficult.
Yeah, but make sure you keep his hands bound too.
And keep his hands bound, keep that gag in.
You might want to dunk him underwater so that he cannot make fire.
I mean,
That's not okay.
Not quite how that works, but I was going to say, I was going to volunteer to see. I have this thing. I'll just show you, and then I'll awaken mind to shield buff and say, yeah. So I can communicate with people telepathically as long as they're within 30 feet and we both know a language. So if at any point you need someone to question him, I could probably learn his answers from whatever someone else is asking without you having to take the gag out. And then I'll just nod sagely at him outside of the telepathic communication.
He sort of looks around for a moment and he's fascinating. That should prove useful, yes?
It has before, yes. I said that out loud this time, by the way.
Yeah. Well then,
So I think it's probably best to send them to a bigger town, though. They're better equipped for dealing with magic users.
I suppose that's true.
What's that other big city? The one that's not Caperton, Rydell?
Yeah.
Shuffle them
Rydell's
off
closer.
there. Yeah, it's closer. It's not as big, but it doesn't really need to be.
Would you four be willing to transfer him that way?
Does it pay?
Of course.
Then maybe. For now, I've been away
Yes,
for
it pays injustice.
You four,
That's not-
you four
that's
have more than earned it. I can assure you.
Well, then maybe, but I've been awake for over 30 hours. I point at the library. I'm going to go take a nap. And I wander over there. just like gung-ho cartoon style walk. It's like exaggerating it deliberately with the arm swings to make it clear I am done for the day.
Yes. All right.
Okay, then.
I've been up for over 30 hours. I'm going to bed.
Fair enough.
I'm assuming 30 hours because I'm assuming we were out there in those woods for a
Yeah.
while. It was like post 24 hours when we went in there in the first place. So
Yep.
Right,
You've more than earned that actual sleep. So.
and I needed my spell slots back. So
All right. Well then,
Yeah,
we
so-
will. We can hold him here, and keep that gag and tied up, and we can wait for you four to get some rest if you need it. And
First thing in the morning, we'll take them out. But do you have a letter of... We would need a letter saying this. We can't just bring a random person over and be
yes, of
like, hey,
course,
throw this person in jail.
of course. I will make that letter over the course of the day while you four rest.
Okay.
And again, there is this smile that's uncanny valley on a Warforged.
Okay.
So he will nod and leave the rest of you to get some rest as needed. And Cad, if you hand off the still tied up prisoner to Shield Buff, it's worth noting that he is not only just as big as you, but also just as strong as you. He holds him just the same. So
the waistband of his trousers, pretty much.
he Shield Buff as a Warforged does not necessarily have powerful build per se, but Warforged typically have a lot of strength, and Shield Buff most certainly does. So, yeah. Anywho, he is held, and he is pretty much bound, and y'all can go to get some rest for the night.
Yay! Early morning risers.
Long
All right.
rest.
Yeah, I know Silver would.
You'd want to check this fucker in a cell.
Well, yes. And then, I don't know, she would probably hang out with Young a little bit at the tavern.
Of course. Alright. So, you get some rest. You, hang out at the tavern. Young most definitely needs a drink or two after all that mess.
Mhm.
Well, that was an interesting event, that's for sure.
And Silver's just like, on time, be like, yeah, just making small talk with Young.
Oh yeah. Where are you going, Cad?
So we're resting and then escorting.
Yeah, that is pretty much the
Yeah.
plan. Yes.
So we're just resting up, and then how long before we leave to escort?
You probably got
Yeah, first thing in the morning we're leaving. So
yeah, you're leaving in the first in the morning, and at this point it's probably about late afternoon at this point.
Locke's like just gonna sleep full fucking 12 hours.
Oh yeah, easy.
oh, I asked you a question already in Discord, by the way.
I know, I saw that.
Okay.
I will answer that for you later.
Okay.
I take everyone else's share of gold because no one said it out loud. Shh.
Cat is not that type. Cat is not that type of character.
No, she was whispering the GM. So
Oh
anyway.
no, she's
Yeah,
not like
you.
Anyway,
I don't know of anything. I don't know of anything specific that I would do. So I guess I would sort of wander around the town and make sure that everyone was calmed down and okay, and see if anyone needed help, and then the obvious thing of resting at the end.
okay, fair enough. All right.
I mean, it's not a whole long amount of time. It's like afternoon or evening, and that's it. So.
Yeah. All right. So everyone is calm and rested up, and the following morning, you guys begin to get ready for the trek to Rydell. Is where you're going. I believe is what was said. Rydell.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you wake up the next morning. You go over to the shield buff, the mayor, to pick up your lovely charge or prisoner who is still gagged and not happy at all. But there's not a whole lot he can do. He can't cast spells with his arms bound and his mouth gagged. So,
how many days travel is it to Rydell? Would I know this?
It's a couple of days.
You in character probably not, because you've never been to Rydell. But you're looking at what is it, 4 days?
It's about a week, I think. To count meanders into consideration.
Yeah.
It's about
So if I wouldn't know in character, then in character I would ask about how long the journey would be.
Yeah.
And upon finding out, I would mention. So, how does he eat?
You could probably go without food that long. It's water that would be the bigger problem.
I mean, most spells. Well, this Young wouldn't know this. Never mind.
Well, from what Silver saw and kind of conduced, she would understand.
Yeah.
I've got it. All spellcasters have to rest to get their stuff back, so we could run the risk of making him slightly insane. And like 5 minutes before he has a short rest, we poke him and aggravate him, so he doesn't have an opportunity.
I mean, with his hands bound, his range of spells that he can do is going to be significantly more limited anyway. He'll be limited to spells that only have a verbal component, which is not many. Let's be honest.
Fire on!
And in that event, chances are the main thing we could probably do is just like immediately pull the thing down, then shove a water skin in his face, and not give him a chance to utter anything.
Right.
I mean, he'd need a couple seconds to utter any incantations anyway, so he wouldn't be able to get one off without us noticing and being able to quickly counter it. Plus, I have counter spell. I can shut any
Prepare
spells.
counter spell, point at his mouth, and say, "Okay, now."
Just make it known, like, if you try anything, it's not going to work, and we won't hesitate to fucking kill you if you give us too much trouble. So, contain your bullshit.
Yeah, and well, Silver doesn't really want to kill him, just give him to justice. But
Yeah, well, I mean, if he makes us, we will. So
we'll just keep knocking him out to the point where he has like a head on top of his head.
God. Like that one hat in Dark Souls where it's like just there's like a mushroom cloud just coming out of your head.
All right.
I can always beat him for like 25 non-lethal damage as long as I don't miss. So we're good.
I
All
mean,
right.
he's kind of tied up. There's
Yeah.
no way.
You definitely
So-
get advantage on that.
You guys
Either way,
begin
we're
your
gonna make our trek.
yeah. You
They're gonna
begin
be-
making your trek south, sort of south west-ish, to make your way to Rydell.
And as we're going, can I use Awaken Mind to start a conversation with this guy? Because might as well.
Hey, what's up?
You can indeed, yes.
All right, I will Awaken Mind and say, "Hello there. I am talking inside your brain. You can think back to me to reply."
He looks around.
I'm the scrawny one who filled your head with the sound of calling birds the other day. I'll wave at him.
Ah,
He's silent.
Well, anyways, we're not taking that gag out, but as long as we have you in our midst, I would very much like to know why you started that fire and know something about you at the very least. So, what's your name?
He just sort of chuckles inside of his head and Dalton. Not that it matters now.
we did get the letter right before we left.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah, probably.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. She'll both most definitely gave you the letter before.
All right. So, Dalton, why did you start that fire?
In the campsite in the middle.
I mean, just the one that almost burnt to Yukiege.
Did you say where did you start it or why?
Why?
Doesn't matter. She's gone now.
Okay, now see, it kind of matters to me because that fire almost reached what is essentially my new hometown, where my mother and I both live. If I understand why you acted the way you did, maybe I can put in a good word for you. Lessen your sentence a little bit. If you got a good reason. If you give me nothing, I'm going to be forced to assume you're just a psychopathic asshole and you're going to get the full deal.
Yeah. Well, we're probably going to go with that. I don't think you'd agree with me very much if you knew why, considering that you were protecting your mother.
Well, I might not agree with you, but there are a lot of things I don't agree with that I can at least understand and recognize.
The person in that camp that I burned away was, in fact, my mother.
Okay. Why did you burn away your mother then?
Because she ran. She left.
And why did she do that?
Don't know. Don't care. I started showing signs of magic. And then she bailed.
What that tells me is she was scared, and then you proved her right to be.
Darn right. She shouldn't have run.
Well, neither should my father have run, yet he did. I didn't roast him alive.
Do you have fire powers?
I sort of lift a hand and let a few sparks of a firebolt dance around. Not as impressive as yours, but yes.
I have that spell. That's baby fire.
Oh, I have other ways to make people hurt. I can fill their minds with cacaws. I can blast them with freaking magics that defy comprehension, I can make it sound like the whole world just shattered in their ears. I can
Why do
also
you
make
do
them
the-
start laughing uncontrollably if I'm really feeling like an asshole.
Why do you make everyone here pause?
We bumped into a really weird bird. It just kind of stuck.
Okay.
Well then. So let me see if I'm understanding the whole picture here. You started showing signs of magic, manifesting beyond your power, so sorcerer. And then your mother ran away, presumably because she was afraid of what you might do. You followed her and murdered her, essentially, and put a bunch of other lives at risk in the process. Is that the gist of it, or am I missing anything? Any other context?
Yeah, that's about it. All that really matters at this point, anyway.
Huh. Well, let me tell you this. It's too late for it to matter, you're right, but hindsight's 20/20. Chances are things would have turned out a lot better for both you and her if you hadn't gone and proved her right for being afraid of you. You didn't have to chase her, you didn't have to burn her. You sure as hell didn't have to start a forest fire that endangered an entire completely unrelated town. I get what it is to be more than a little infuriated with a family member, a paternal one at that. But if that's how you're going to respond to something like that, then you do belong in a cell, and I have nothing favorable to add. Was kind of hoping you would have proved me wrong, but I guess some people just want to watch the world burn. And with that, I'll cut the connection. Snip.
It's hard to do with him being gagged, but at your cutoff and line of watch the world burn, there is a degree of a smile there.
Yep. And then I'll just openly say out loud for everyone, yeah, he's just an asshole.
Really?
I just spent the last 5 minutes talking to him in his head, and he has not given me one reason to think there was anything redeeming about him.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, I mean, you remember that campsite we found?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where his mom lived. He killed his mom. Damn
Silver
fool.
slowly looks over her shoulder at the halfling.
We're already going to be chucking him in a cell, and chances are he'll die there anyway. Let it happen there. It'll take more time. He'll learn his lesson better.
Right.
Oh yeah, he's staring intently right back at you.
So he still has the ropes and all that binding him, right?
Oh
Yes,
yeah, and you're probably carrying him too.
Yeah.
I'm going to
It's like a suitcase.
I'm going to like turn my wrist so that he spins around to face me in my face, and I'm just going to scowl at him and be like, "I still don't like you." And then I'm going to slowly turn him to face forward again.
Okay.
So he's on to Rydell.
Yep, on to right.
All right.
Fast forward.
Yeah. We will fast forward a little bit.
Now we're halfway there.
Making your way to Rydell.
Aha.
Hey, we're passing relatively close to the Misty Village.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I wonder if a certain tall fucker's gonna be here.
For what it's worth, Ryan, when Sam had said she had asked me a question earlier,
It was proceeding about Oak.
yeah.
Because I'm a little concerned about this party having no healer.
I mean, we did
So-
we're doing all right so far.
Yeah, but the thing is, Silver can only heal so much.
It's fine. You'll be alright.
So much is enough.
No, it's not. Especially not at the end of combat. There's no one to bring you back.
I mean, keep in mind, and this is meta, but keep in mind, I can very well off-tank. Provided we don't, like, bash the skulls in of our foes and, like, literally...
Yeah.
Alright.
Well, moving on.
Either way. I just want a healer in the party, that's all. I just want to be safe.
All right. So you're making your way. Does anybody do anything else with your lovely prisoner along the way, or you just
No,
menacingly scowling at him the whole way?
Yeah, and like shoving food in his face.
Instead of moving the food around like an airplane, I move him around like an airplane.
Drive his face into the pie. Just totally inhumane treatment. We're all chaotic
I
evil
wouldn't
now.
do that.
No.
Okay, so this is when
But I could spin around 40 feet per 6 seconds in a circle and make him dizzy.
Okay, hold on. I need to check and see.
Spin check.
I need to check and see which. If he has actually, he's a sorcerer, so he only has the spells that he's learned. But I'm going to see if he has any spells that he can at all cast without semantic components.
Or hands.
Really? That's interesting.
The thing is, his hands are tied, so he can't reach into a component pouch.
Not every verbal spell requires components. Some of them just require mouth movements.
Yes, but that's the thing. He's gagged.
You awaken mind to him in conversation.
Yes, but
By
you
the way,
see,
hocus pocus.
but you see, the significance of this is he is going to attempt to cast this spell at the point in which you are ungagging him and shoving food in his face.
Well, he'd need to be able to utter it really fucking fast, because we're...
Sorcery points. Instant cast.
Actually, yeah, that's actually a reasonable thing that he could do.
Why did you do that? Why would you remind him? You are terrible at this game.
Oh, it's fine because
We're all gonna die.
let's see.
What is he gonna
Doomed
cast?
us.
No, wait, aren't
Um,
you supposed to be preparing counterspell each time?
I can't do counterspell to an instant cast, I don't think, can I?
Well, you could. It's not going to be instant cast. It's going to be bonus
It's
action.
gonna probably be as a bonus action, so.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, then yeah, I still got counterspell at the ready.
Who is he more threatened by, the elephant or the crazy, silver lady?
I don't know, I'm the one shoving food into his mouth.
Is he one that bites the hand that feeds him? Or is he one that bites the airplane?
Actually, no. He wants to watch the world burn, and by world I mean person. He's going to target Locke.
Oh,
Does my counterspell work?
This is actually a 5th level spell.
Oof, so I need to roll.
You need to roll your spellcasting ability and a d20 plus your spellcasting ability, and your DC is a 15.
Right, so I need to. So would that be plus my charisma, or would I also be adding my proficiency bonus to this?
It would be spellcast. It says spellcasting ability, so that's spellcasting ability modifier. So your proficiency and charisma.
So that would
So
be
it
plus
equals-
6 then.
Yep.
yeah, so you need to beat a 15.
Nope, that's an 8.
All right.
What
So
did he do to me?
He set you on fire. That's what.
yeah, he
He
does.
mockingly derides you and says, "Liar, liar, pants on fire."
New spell, Lyra's Flaming Pants. Deals 1d6 fire damage to an enemy anytime they know to a target creature, anytime they knowingly tell a lie or mistruth. Lasts for 1 minute with concentration.
Did you just come
So
up with this off the top of your head?
Yes.
Oh my god, I
So
love
I know
it.
there's a zone of truth. Can we house rule a zone of falsehood and compel them to speak?
All right. So, yeah.
What? Can you actually show us the spell? What is he casting?
I will tell you the spell. Roll me a dexterity save, Brian.
22, natural 20.
Woo!
Woohoo!
Nice. I don't have a little spell card for it, but it's that one. Found at
Immolation. I had a feeling. No idea what
this
it does.
link. Will take you there. So you made your save, which means you're not going to continue to burn, but you do take half of the 8d6 fire damage.
Jesus!
8d6.
5th level.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well. Shyster.
So 17.
Okay. See, if that had actually hit, I'd be at 1 hit point right now.
Oh, cool. Fun.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Wait.
He passed, so he's not
Alright.
going to continue to burn.
All right. Very pissed. Like exceedingly so. I would like to pull out my sickle, march right up to him, put the blade up to his throat, and then like have the little sphere that I have attached to its bottom glow and cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter on him.
Okay.
So he needs to make that DC 14 Wisdom saving throw, or he's gonna be laughing uncontrollably unless incapable of casting spells through his laughs.
You see, though, my mental image of the whole immolation bit he just did was that as soon as you catch fire, he, being suspended by me, carrying him by the ropes, he's probably rolling with laughter and kicking his little feet in the air and just, like, happy as can be. It's like, I got you.
Well, he's
Got him.
not. How else am I going to sit there and like shove food in his face? If he's in the air, I need him to sit down.
I can lower him down in front of you.
Okay.
All
Here's
right,
my-
so he is now laughing uncontrollably,
Okay.
and I'm just going to glare at him hatefully, look up at Cad, and say, "He's all yours." I'll put the sickle away and angrily stalk off, sort of dusting myself off. Fucking shit. Got him and strung him up by his entrails, little piece of fucking cunt trash. He's pissed.
Yep.
I just got lit on fire, for fuck's sake.
You did. All right. So, does Silver want to do anything with that? Yang seriously has her claws out, ready to just.
Yeah, she's just
Take
gonna
him
sit
out.
there and bow her. Actually, she's gonna sit there and like, like straight face, cold as ice, and she's just gonna sit there and bow her head slightly, and actually going to pray to Helm,
Oh boy.
see if she'll get an answer
Okay.
about what to do with this guy.
I would probably recommend, letting the court system and the jail hold him. Anything we do would rob him of that reward. So,
Question. Remember that Lyra's burning pants thing? What level spell should that be?
3rd.
3rd?
I don't know.
Okay, 3rd level it is.
All right.
I'm currently making a post on the Giant of the Playground forums for it, so.
3rd, it'll do like, what is it, 2d4 or 2d6 damage?
It was 1d6, I said.
Oh, 1d6, okay.
So you pray to Helm.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Um.
praying for judgment on this soul.
Smite from the inside?
He is.
No, because if it depends on what Helm says, if it does, you guys get to see something very interesting.
Would this be an evocation spell?
Which one? The spell he did?
Or the burning pants.
Oh
Lyra's
yeah, it
burning-
would be. Yeah.
Evo.
Third
So,
level evocation.
He has a very the sort of signal you get from Helm, is he has a very this person has a very dark soul. They are there was a reason that, you know, Locke's response to him was kind of crazy. He's a bit sociopathic. So,
Mhm.
Helm,
Yeah, but should Silver cast judgment on him, or should she continue to take him to Rydell?
what's alignment was Helm?
Neutral.
Neutral, like true neutral?
Hold on. Helm. Gotten Rams. Hello. He's lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral.
Yes.
Interesting.
Same alignment as Silver. So.
Right. Yeah. Isn't lawful neutral something like more than good morals and bad morals, you are the law sort of thing?
Yes, we try to be as neutral as we can when making judge.
It's not for the sake of good or evil. It's for the immediate benefit, I believe.
Yeah. Your basic call from Helm is the justice system will take him out eventually, and perhaps others will be hurt in the process. You can take him out now.
So it's a take him out now.
Basically, yeah. Maybe not in that particular word choice because I haven't figured out exactly how Helm talks to Silver per se, but yeah.
It's mostly like she uses kind of her sword as a way. Like if it lights up on its own, that means
Yeah.
die. So,
Yeah, then yes. The answer would be yes.
okay.
Do your cool thing, Silver.
So Cad is still holding him, right?
Yep.
Silver is gonna like look at Cad and be like, set him down and walk away. As she pulls out her sword.
I lift him as high as I can and release and back up.
Flump.
So he just flops to the floor.
You wanted me to set him down. I don't want him to run. I want him to actually,
He's
stuck.
tied up.
Well, yeah. Still.
That's fine. So she sits there and just like looks at him and looks at her blade. On fire?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Her sword she didn't say her magical word to catch her sword on fire. It just did. Magic. Yeah, she's just going to, whoop. Scream right into his face. So, who's all within 10 feet of me?
I'm like 20 feet away, so
Probably Young and Cad.
You guys need to make a charisma saving throw too.
And Loxodon Bravery.
So
Cad, you get advantage.
And it's charisma.
Mm-hmm.
Charisma.
I'm
Yeah,
good.
you're fine. You just see like bony wings sprout from her back and like her eyes darken and black tears run down her face as she's like banshee screaming at him.
Jeez.
Young's not.
Okay, and what about this dude?
Oh yeah, him. Okay. He's fine.
Shit.
He actually smiles at you. Not that he can say anything, but and you can't. He's still mostly gagged because you gagged him back. But as best he can from behind the gag, he's smiling at you.
Oh no, it gets fun.
And
So-
Young sort of falls down. He's like, "What? Nope." breathing very heavily, backing away, probably towards where Locke is. He dusted himself off, and I sort of imagine that Locke was like dusting himself off and had turned away for a moment.
Yeah.
And then screaming.
And then screaming, he turns around and sees Young like tumbling backwards towards where he is, and the crazy skeletal wings and roar and the yeah.
The hell?
Alright. So yeah, she's gonna make...
I'm gonna wander back over. Okay, so does someone want to fill me in on why Silver just turned into something that looks like it belongs in the abyss?
I'm like in the middle of doing something.
Okay,
So
then I will hold on to that.
As you're walking over, you'll see.
Okay.
He has a prepared action to ask that.
Also, I posted something in chat there.
Lyra's burning pants.
I'm gonna burn a couple of spell slots.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I want to see how well this works.
More than spell slots are going to burn.
Well, she's casting a cantrip. She's actually doing the green flame blade.
Okay.
She is above 5th level. So that is a...
I would also bear in mind that you guys rested before you took him on, so he's technically full health at this point. Though he took a little bit of damage a second ago when your big huge elephant dropped him to the ground.
Alright.
I helped.
I won!
No, I hold him the whole time. You do all your shenanigans, and then I
Actually,
drop
she
him
doesn't
and kill Steel.
Yeah, she doesn't need to do green flame, actually, because she doesn't get the... Actually, yeah. She would. She's attacking with her sword. Okay, so it's a 2d8 to him.
2d8 plus your initial damage from your weapon.
Okay, so... Since he's all tied up and stuff, and prone...
Yeah, he's very prone. Melee
Advantage.
attacks on prone have advantage.
17 either way.
17 will hit him.
It should be a coup de grace because he can't defend and he's prone, and so it should be an auto crit.
Hold on, she's not done yet. So she's doing that.
Okay.
Now let me roll that extra fire damage. What is it? DT? It's 15 fire. Oh, and by the way,
10 necrotic. And 10 necrotic.
and 10 necrotic.
A D10
and a
necrotic or
level
10
2
necrotic?
Smite.
10 flat. Just
10 flat necrotic. And then level 2 divine smite. So that's a
2d8.
3d8 of radiant damage. So yeah,
It's like, what, 40-something damage you just did to this guy?
let's see, 20, 30, 45, 56 damage.
Jesus!
Okay.
Please tell me that just takes his head off.
Yeah, she was gonna decapitate him.
Yeah. Oh boy. 56 is a lot of damage.
Yeah,
You
just wait until she gets higher spell slots. Like,
you
level
have
4.
you have because technically based on the math and the numbers, he is not actually dead, but I can make it gruesome. You have a dying man very close to it on your sword right now.
As she's preparing her next spell, I kick him in the ribs and kill Steel.
No, that's fine because she does have a second attack.
Oh, yeah, that's right, you do.
Oh, god damn!
That'll hit.
16 extra damage.
Okay, he's gone.
Okay.
So okay,
Jesus!
here's what I imagine: big crazy wings. You just sort of stalk
Raymond,
over.
single black tears on either, running down her cheeks on either side.
Yep.
Black eyes.
Stalk over to him.
Y'all freaking the fuck out.
Stalking over to him. You swing your blade. Blade is aflame with both the green fire and the other fire. Just eviscerate, and then there's a split second of him not quite dead, and
Yeah, she's just like.
I am
"May
going
your
to see
soul
this.
Be purged.
So I'm going to see this demonic display, kind of
Yeah.
demonic,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm going to turn around and run the other way. A little bit of Locke's normally cowardly nature is going to show because just like, oh shit, I don't want to be near that. Running.
Does he run into the misty forest?
Yeah, sure. There's shelter that way.
And it's like the last thing is like you probably hear is just her saying, "May your soul purge." Darkness.
So, here's the thing. When you're going to run off into the forest, Locke, right?
Yeah. I'm
Make for
listening.
me a perception check.
We're being spied on, aren't we? Like, I'm totally about to run face first into Oak's chest, aren't I? 7!
Okay, let me
I was doing
see.
so well, too.
Let me see. Hold on.
Give him a chance.
Sail!
Locke, I'm gonna give you advantage again, actually, because you're terrified and you have been terrified many, many times in your life, and it makes you more observant. Roll again. Up. Well. Okay.
Still 7, because that's a net 1.
Okay. So
I mean, it makes sense. When you're scared, you don't necessarily think straight.
So you beeline into
But
the
you sure
forest.
run it.
You beeline into the forest of Misty Village, and you're just gone.
Yeah, I go for a ways and then press myself up against a tree, putting it between me and the side. Just like, well, fuck, all right.
Start
Okay,
hyperventilating.
yeah. So okay. I'm going to end the session at this particular point because why the heck not? So the last bit we have for this session, Locke, you're up against the trees, you're hidden, and you're like terrified, and you're what the heck was that, and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
And then a hand gets on your shoulder. It's
Very
calm down.
undignified shriek.
Calm down. I don't like it either. And breathing now
What's
coming
wrong?
coming out of the shadows halfway, you have Yang.
Fuck. I
Sorry.
slap her. Just smack.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I deserve that. End of session.
Yeah, I was the one that fired her. Yeah.
Glorious.
All
What a
right.
way to end.
That was fun. I like that ending. All right. This has been Shadows of Gradiriel. Go, Sam.
Will Silver have a job still?
That's a good point. You were hired by Yang and you terrified the crap out of her.
Made yourself look like a fucking monster from the abyss. Shit.
All right. And
I wish I
hey,
knew what Kat was thinking when this happened. Like,
Cad
Oh.
might get a reason to visit Misty Village now. That'd be great.
the thing is, will Silver be allowed in?